Yo!
Yo! Welcome, everybody. Welcome to
Hi.
Chillin' with the Ice Emperor. Hello, hello. I am your host, the Ice Emperor Penguinato. And today I have a very special guest, Jade the Kobold. Yay,
How's
we
it
got
going?
Jade. Let me see right here.
Yo, it's me.
Here you go. This is Jade's YouTube profile. Y'all can check them out here. And
I do
yeah,
things.
we're here to talk about VTubing.
I am looking forward to this. I've been looking forward to this for a while.
Yeah.
Should we talk about how we met?
Yes, we should. That would be a good way to start.
Yeah, I thought.
How did we meet, Jade? I don't remember. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Just a random thing on Twitter. So you were like, "Hey, can you meet friends on Twitter?" And I was like, "Hi, want to be a friend?" And you're like, "Yeah, sure." That's it. That's the story.
I made a meme which actually got a fair amount of reactions actually about how the way I think you should go about, well, then again it's opinionated, but the way I think you should actually go about making VTuber friends is going out there and like talking, DMing to people and, asking for collabs or hanging out in their streams or making a connection with them by spending time interacting with them. Instead of just making tweets saying, I want VTuber friends, and then getting like 50 million responses. And it's basically just people trying to do follow for follow, and that's it. And never talking to each other.
Which is always a bad bargain. Follow for follow trains always are bad bargains.
Yes. Yes. I believe when you're first starting out and you don't know anybody, I believe it's something most people should do
fair.
when you first start out. Follow a bunch of people and start talking to them. And then slowly over time, you'll start to narrow down who like you click with and all that. And then you go from there. That's what I would say personally. But
I would say that, getting a couple of close friends that you can work with and that you can work alongside is another way of doing that. Not necessarily a better way of doing that, but having a couple closer friends can be more useful than what I would call the shotgun approach. Follow a billion people and just see who sticks.
But I do have mad respect for Jay doing that, because very, very rarely do you get people sending DMs like or comments or anything saying let's do something.
Yeah, just kick down the door like let's do this.
Yeah, that's why I have a lot of I major props to you, Jade. Thank you. I actually
thank you very
appreciate
much.
that.
Thank you.
It's very rare when somebody actually does that. Usually it's me asking people, like, you want to do something? And most of the time people are like, yeah, sure. But it makes you feel all tingly and special when someone asks you to do it. Like, oh yeah. Okay. Anyway. So Jade was someone who reached out to me from one of my memes that I posted. It was the Lisa Simpson presentation meme that I just put myself into. I love doing that. Making memes out of myself. Or just like shoehorning myself into memes. But
memes are the highest form of comedy.
Yes. So that's how me and Jade met. We've been talking since then. And I checked out Jade's stream, and we're here to talk about their experience VTubing. We're going to find out all about Jade today. So welcome, Sapphire Dixon. Welcome. Glad to see you here. I'm a friend of Jade. They're very cute and may call me cute. To fire back at me, also I use she, her, and he, him pronoun. Okay, so any pronoun. Okay,
Fire is adorable.
Good.
Welcome to Glacierland.
Well, thank you for the follow, Tuesday Fox. Welcome to Glacierland. How you doing today?
Tuzzy is also good bean.
Nice. Love meeting new friends. Sorry I wasn't able to come past few days. My VTuber volume still doesn't work. It's okay, yo. I'm glad to see you back though.
So one thing I will say is that whenever I'm on a Twitch stream, I will follow whatever redeems you have active.
Oh dear.
if they're possible for me to follow, I will consider myself beholden to all of them because I don't get redeems on YouTube. That's just not a thing.
Oh, that sucks.
I will respect them.
Got it. Welcome, Waffle. Welcome. Okay, I'm caught up on chat. Excellent. So, let us start off with the first question of the day. Jade, could you please introduce yourself for the audience?
Hello, friends. I'm Jade the Kobold. I've been in the games industry for the past 8 years and worked as an actor before that. Streaming is my way of combining two things that I'm very passionate about, acting and game design, and I've been having an absolute blast with it ever since I started out. I stream 5 nights a week with Tuesdays and Sundays off at 5 o'clock Pacific time.
Excellent. Can you tell us about your VTuber character or lore, or anything you want to share about yourself?
Sure. So I have seen so many VTubers spend all this time, effort, thought, pages and pages and pages of lore. My lore is that a bolt of lightning hit a rock, and now I can use it as a computer.
Ah.
That's the lore. That's basically what I'm running off of here.
So you literally turned a rock into a computer.
That's-
A kobold
think-
is a lizard man? Or I forget what the
Yeah.
lore behind kobolds are.
Kobolds are small draconic creatures, like dragon-ish creatures. The lore goes. Modern people mostly know him from Dungeons and Dragons,
Yes.
but the lore goes back into Scandinavian folklore as they are a race of fae that helps miners in while they're working.
Oh, nice. Little
Miners
helpers.
in mines, I should clarify.
Little helpers.
Yeah, exactly.
They help break down rocks and stuff, or
Yeah, make sure equipment doesn't break, stuff like that.
do they just eat the rocks?
But once in a while.
Or are they just do they hit them? Their tails or claws?
Pickaxes, whatever needs to be done.
Oh, they use pickaxe. Nice. Handy.
Mhm.
Very handy. Sapphire says, the issue that Fallout for Fall is that you'll get more often not get someone who won't necessarily be around for your content. Of course. It's just for the number.
Right.
Uh,
Engagement is important.
in response to being called adorable. Aw, cute.
Blushy feet.
A squirrel taught Jade how to internet. The squirrel's name is Mortimer. What?
Yeah, extended lore. It's
Did the squirrel also get hit by the lightning and he just learned how to use a computer somehow?
Sure, why not?
Excellent. Very in-depth lore.
Yeah.
Well written. Totally well written. I love it.
I spent minutes on it.
Anything else you'd like to mention about your character?
My model was made by Remexin, who is a delight to work with. I do have a new model that's in production that is not ready yet, but so that'll be a big deal when that happens.
Excellent. Okay.
Mhm.
Excellent. Excellent.
Anything specific?
Well, what inspired your character idea? What made you want to be a kobold? To become a kobold
So-
YouTuber?
So for me, it was Debbie from Niji Sanji, if you're familiar with them.
Mm-mm.
Debbie. They were a big inspiration to me because every time that Debbie is on screen or in a collab, the fact that they're not a generic human VTuber stands out, right? The fact that they are unique and visually interesting is prominent. It's very obvious and, well, very because being visually interesting is kind of useful. I decided to take that route instead of going, with the generic human with animal ears that
Yes,
pretty much
definitely.
everybody does.
Definitely. I feel
And just-
that very strongly.
Yeah. So as far as why a kobold, it was actually kind of a whim. I was looking at some art from Sork, who is a fantastic artist, and they draw who are drawing some adorable kobolds. And it's like, I like that. That seems cool, and I just sort of rolled with it, and after a little while, it's like, you know what, this works as a model. I think I could go with something like this, and then it sort of became an identity, and then I sort of apparently there's kobold communities and stuff for people who are in the furry communities as kobolds, and they're awesome people, and I just sort of
Nice.
fell in with that, and you know what, okay, this works, this is phenomenal, I love this. But the
Hmm.
initial instance of it was kind of just on a whim, just yeah, that seems cool, I like that, let's go with
Huh.
that.
I kind of suspected, since we've talked about how you're an RPG buff, I thought
Mhm.
kobolds might be your favorite enemies to fight in RPGs or D&D or such.
I mean, they are very interesting creatures. I think that they are more interesting than a lot of people give them credit for, and I have played tabletop kobold before in the past.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, at the moment, it was more of yeah, let's go with that, because of those things. But yeah, there's a hydrate redeem.
I just took a sippy. I have a sippy emote. Quick,
Haha.
if I can find it. A lot of flipping emotes. How many do they
I
let
have
you
a
have on
bucket.
YouTube, actually? That's a good question.
How many emotes?
Yeah, are you allowed to have? Or does it depend?
Well, it depends, but the baseline. Let me just actually double check before I say something wrong. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
There we go. Sippy.
The baseline is like 7 or so, and then as you get more, as you get more memberships, which is the YouTube equivalent of subscribers, it'll go up from there.
Yeah, interesting. That's pretty much the same thing how Twitch is.
Mhm.
Sippy sippy. Yep, that's me. But yeah, kobolds are they're a very common enemy in RPGs, usually, huh?
Yeah.
And usually you find them early on.
Mhm.
So they're no strangers to
Simple, well,
players for the most part, huh?
what was that?
There's no strangers to people that play RPGs and stuff. They're very familiar with them.
Exactly. I sometimes struggle with the fact that in a lot of people's minds, I am tied to an existing intellectual property, with D&D,
Mhm.
even though kobolds are a very common, both mythological, like honestly, there are equivalents of kobolds in many different mythologies, all the way from like the Native Americas all the way to Japan.
Oh
There's
yeah,
some equivalent of a kobold. And yet, especially in North America, a lot of people's brains just immediately go, "Oh, it's a D&D monster." It's like, no, my dude, no.
is the name particularly kobold? Is that tied to D&D specifically, or is it?
Nope, not
Oh,
at all.
okay. Take that, Wizards of the Coast. You don't own that.
Yeah,
It's public domain or
get wrecked,
whatever.
Watson. Yeah, straight up.
Kobolds are
And
doggo
yeah,
people in Japan. What the heck?
that's true. Yeah,
Interesting.
they're more like what we would in the West. Oh yeah, more like what we in the West would consider a null is what Japan sees as kobolds. But they have the same personality and traits that the kobolds uh, in the West have.
I know in Japanese folklore, I guess, like orcs look more like pigs. So
Yep.
American RPG players will call Japanese orcs porks. They kind of look
Nice.
more
Yep.
pig boarish, you know? Yeah, interesting.
Mhm.
Interesting how things differ in cultures like that.
It really is.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Uh so you're like a friendly kobold, or like you don't attack humans, or like are you neutral?
So, I
Or
mean, the question of kobolds' aggression, it really depends on what lore and what mythos. Because again, there are helper spirits like brownies in the original Scandinavian lore,
yes.
and in D&D lore, they mostly actually just keep to themselves and are just attack out of fear when humans come into their lands.
If
Like
they
they
feel
don't go
threatened.
roaming. Yeah. They don't roam like goblins do. So I mean, most kobolds I would argue are friendly in general. It's unless
You
you have a
provoke them.
quest to collect kobold nails or whatever.
So like they're usually like non-aggressive unless provoked.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So
Hmm.
people in your chat don't come in here and try to kill you for experience or anything?
No. Though somebody did ask what I would drop as a game dev kobold, and I had like, sorry, I just fill your inventory with half finished projects.
That's gold. I love that. Kobolds are like dragons, they're global. All kobolds are good beans if you ask me. They seem, even though they are typically something you kill and fight in RPGs, they seem very non-aggressive by nature, I guess.
Yeah, they're pretty chill.
Yeah. Kind of like penguins. Except
True.
we don't really attack you if you provoke us, we just run away.
Fair though. Swim away most likely.
Swim, yeah, jump in the ice, get away.
Hmm.
Question 2, I think we covered that. What inspired you to become a VTuber? And you mentioned Iji Sanji. What was it? Who was a member?
Debbie Roo.
Okay. Debbie Roo.
Yeah.
They're a
Yep.
devil?
That. Yes, they are.
Oh wow.
Are you
Wow.
not familiar with him?
No, that's the funny thing about me. I guess I'll share real quick. I never really watched VTubers before I came one, besides the Hololive English generation, and for the most part,
Oh, yeah.
just Gargura for the most part. A bunch of friends of mine were deep into VTubing or watching VTubers when they're like, "Hey, we're gonna go start doing this. Do you want to join us?" And I'm like, "What's a VTuber?" And then I watched a little bit of Gargura, and I'm like, "Okay, I'll do it. Whatever."
You're like, all right, I'm down.
Yeah, so I didn't find out about Niji Sanji or anything else until like way afterwards. To be honest, like I've only really watched Gargura in terms of like big pro
I
VTubers.
sent fair. I sent you an image of Debbie Debbie if you want to. I don't know if you want to toss it on stream or not for chat, but yeah,
I
they
think
are
they're
a
familiar with
little
them more so than I
probably
am.
they're the
But
name.
that is that's
They're an imp,
strangely adorable. Dang it!
right? It's like, oh no, I love them.
Why have I not seen this before? Dang it! This is a VTuber I would watch. Damn, you're right.
Well, the reason a lot of people haven't seen them is because they are Japanese only. They
Okay.
very rarely stream with the English members of Niji Sanji because their English is
Yeah,
not great.
I didn't really like the idea of having to watch a fan sub for Japanese VTubers personally.
Fair,
'Cause
reasonable.
I don't know. I guess it's more fun to watch them. Well, for one, like I'm not sure if the fan sub is like legit or if it's like a troll one or something. I don't know. I was iffy about watching fan sub ones personally, but that's just me. I just like got into
I mean,
Hololive VN because no need for fan subs.
true. Though to be fair, I don't think VTuber communities have enough trolling natures to really make a troll fan sub, right? I think there's too many people that are more passionate and very few people that would openly troll. That's my feeling, at least. That's how I think it is.
Yeah. I'm not
In my
like
experience.
take what I say with a grain of salt. I'm just iffy about it for whatever reason. But that's
Of
just
course.
me. Then again, like it's like you have to watch like multiple hour streams of them. So like I would rather just watch clip compilations, I guess maybe. I just never really
That's
got
fair.
into any besides Hololive VN, which I guess I'm an
So
imposter or
actually,
something.
so actually, you raise a very interesting point that
Hmm.
that I think I might preempt one of your future questions on.
Yes.
The way I watch VTubers is is not live. I watch them as Let's Plays. Just will tune into their channel and watch some of their content that they've done already made
They're
in the
VODs.
past. Yeah, I'll just watch the VODs because as if it was a Let's Play channel because well, that's how I consume media. Which, incidentally, if you watch my stuff, I am proud of the fact that my VODs are are already formatted like Let's Plays. I don't do a lot of the Twitch style. I'm going to have 1,000 redeems and read every single chat line that a lot of people do, because I want the experience to be good for people who are not live. It genuinely is important to me that people who are not live still enjoy my streams.
That's a very good point. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's also a big difference between Twitch and YouTube, I feel.
Agreed.
Which
1,000% agreed.
Which is arguably all about watching the people while they stream. That's why they have all those redeems. And I think YouTube's just more geared towards watching, pre-recorded stuff. So people Sorry, what?
Nobody's actually ever watched a Twitch VOD. I mean, if you've ever watched a Twitch VOD, you're wrong. You actually haven't.
I do look at my analytics, and sometimes people watch them because of the view count. The live view count will be lower than the total view count. So I'm like, okay, somebody stumbles on them, I guess. But I think Twitch, it's much less common. Like by far.
Yeah.
They don't advertise VODs on Twitch.
I will get 30 live, and I will get another 20 over the next 24 hours.
Yeah. So it seems like that's
like
big plus for YouTube.
It is.
Oh, Jade, you'd be surprised. I've seen some trolls and accidental trolls. It's.
I'm not saying they don't exist, but I'm saying there's a lot of effort for somebody to put into being a troll on.
Sometimes they'll a troll will legitimately translate the whole episode except for like one line. Like, my God, there was back when Sword Art Online first came out, and that's back when I was still watching fan subs of anime. Somebody, my God, they had Kirito say, "I'll bet my virginity that she's in there," instead of like I bet they're there. And that was like, oh goodness, oh my goodness. They sneaked in that one line, that one troll line. You never know, I guess, but whatever.
I guess, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you were inspired by Deborah. I don't remember the name, but yeah,
Debbie.
Debbie. Excellent. Next question. Question number
Hi.
3. How
3,
long? Sorry, what?
You gave me a list of questions. Like I kind of saw like what the questions were going to be, and I completely ignored it because I just scanned to see if there was anything contestable, really. So these are all still fresh questions.
Oh, okay. So next question: how long have you been VTubing for?
About a year and a half, I want to say. I can actually
Do you
check
know
this by
when you
just
started, actually? Exactly or so?
I suppose I can check just by going to my first video on my YouTube channel. I started, well, my debut was last February,
Okay.
and then I had been streaming for a few months before then.
Okay. As a non-VTuber?
As a PNG tuber.
Oh, okay. Just like me. Excellent. Okay. So a year and a half or so.
Yeah, say roughly 2 years at this point, I suppose.
Excellent. Next
My first
question.
YouTube stream was January of last year, and then I went for no, I guess it was November of 2 years ago.
Not last February, says Sapphire. Uh-oh. Are they talking about the PNG tuber days?
And I started it actually. It was the November 2 years ago, because it was when Niji Sanji first declared that they were going to be making a North American branch.
Excellent.
And I was like, okay.
Excellent.
I better get practicing.
Alrighty. Now, what kind of content would you say you stream?
I do a lot of RPGs, narrative games, things like that. I mostly single player stuff. I don't necessarily like to play the same game 6 billion times in a row, right?
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy Valorant, but I don't want to stream Valorant with all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So right now I'm playing Chrono Trigger, a classic Super Nintendo RPG, and The Outer Worlds, which is a Obsidian RPG that made by the same people who made Fallout.
Okay.
And yeah, in the past I've done Elden Ring, Final Fantasy VI. Honestly, if anyone wants to watch my stuff, go start with the Final Fantasy VI playthrough. It's some of the content I'm the most proud of.
Oh, interesting. Nice. I love that. I love themed VTubers, which I tried to be one, but I failed at. But it's nice to have like VTubers that have a certain theme to what they do. I wanted to do predominantly horror, but then like I kind of just started branching out, and then like
that's fair.
Now I consider myself like a variety, but like with somewhat of an emphasis on horror and platformers. The
difficult with a variety streamer is that you're never going to really latch on to one audience.
No.
Now, I didn't want to be like, Brian Kibler, where you play Hearthstone for 8 years, but I also recognize that if I don't create a niche, then I'm going to have a lot of transient followers, people who come in, watch a series, and then leave when I'm not playing a game that interests them.
Yeah.
Whereas if I keep my games focused on narrative games and RPGs, and my content focused on game development and voice acting, then I have a more consistent thing, and I'm more likely to keep the viewers engaged that I have.
Yes.
That's I hope, maybe. That's my goal. I don't know if it's happening, but that's what I'm trying to do.
time and analytics will tell, right?
Yeah, exactly.
With variety streamers, and honestly with me, my viewers don't really give a shit what I play. They just come to talk to me, which is humbling.
That's fair.
That's very humbling, actually. I didn't think people would. I thought they'd care more about what I'm playing, but like, unless the game has something particularly interesting happening at that moment, people don't really comment on the game, really, if I'm being honest. So I think I'm already pretty much meant to be a variety streamer to begin with.
There you go.
I don't know. I just kind of branched out because I do like other games besides horror games. Originally, when I started, I wanted to I've watched a ton of horror films, but I haven't played comparatively as many games. So that was originally what I wanted to do. But then I just started branching
Okay.
out. It's like I don't always want to
That's
play
fair.
horror games, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it would really
And
limit me to like an audience as well. I don't know.
it has the potential to, but then again, jumping around also does, right?
Yes.
It's though either way, the audience is there for you more than the game. That should always be true. Otherwise,
Yeah.
otherwise they don't need you.
Yeah. That I mean, when it comes to your brand, they should care about
Mm-hmm.
that when they're watching you to begin with. I don't think they would
Right.
watch you if they didn't like your design or character or brand.
Mm-hmm.
So
Personality, I think, was more. Yeah.
yes. Well, like how everything fits together, I guess, would be particularly
Okay,
what they want to watch you for. But
that's
well,
fair. I can accept that.
yeah, because like they look at a kobold and they're like, if they hate kobolds, they're probably not going to watch you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If they hate penguins, they're not going to fucking want to watch me. But
There,
I believe
there are
so.
people that hate kobolds.
Are there? I don't know. I was
I
just
hope
speaking
not.
hypothetically. I was speaking hypothetically. There are people that hate penguins, and I've met them, and they're terrible people, and I
Wow,
hate them. I hate them very whatever. But I
those people are
digress.
monsters.
It is very common for people to come in for specific games. I've witnessed it. Yes, I think
Mm-hmm.
it attracts. I'll see a lot of new viewers come in and say hi, and then talk about the game.
Mm-hmm.
But usually, I never see them again. So to be fair, but um. sometimes the game you play does help attract some people. Whether or not they stay is a
Mm-hmm.
different matter. If they
True,
come
true,
if they
true.
come for the game but then like the VTuber, I guess is what matters.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting. I wouldn't want to play just one game. Like I agree with you.
Same.
Like just playing Hearthstone or like a lot of people I think they played when Among Us was big, they played solely just
Mm.
Among Us. But then when Among Us's
Yeah.
popularity died down, so did their viewer counts. So it's
So that's
like
why they switched to Fall Guys.
yeah. Yeah, so that's why it's like it's kind of risky to do that if you ask me. It depends on the popularity of that game, of that genre.
Agreed.
A genre I think you
Agreed.
have more like cuz like RPGs are never really going to go away, I don't think.
Exactly.
Like they're not going to
And
die.
especially if you branch it out to include narrative games, like
Yes.
RPGs are never going to die, and there's always going to be narrative indie games because those are
Yes.
just stories. Those are just stories.
Yes.
So the bar for creating them is low, and people's imaginations can go full into their production, and you can get some amazing works.
First person shooters are I think the genre is oversaturated like no tomorrow, but the genre is
Hmm.
never going to go away. It's always going to be around.
Well, there's an interesting fragmentation in first-person shooters because when's the last time you've actually heard people say first-person shooter and not battle royale or like first-person shooter kind of more means like the Counter-Strike style now,
Hmm.
because if someone means Fortnite, then they're going to say either Fortnite or battle royale. If
Hmm.
somebody means a first-person RPG like Skyrim, or better example, Fallout's a first-person shooter. No, but people don't use that term to describe it anymore. Like at least in the past couple of years, they describe that just as an RPG.
Hmm.
I think this the phrase first-person shooter is going out of vogue. Honestly,
Really? Huh. Uh Maybe it's because there's so many shorter games that they're like branching off into separate genres
yeah,
themselves, and it's not
exactly,
really like
exactly. People are getting more specific about what they're talking about.
I am terrible at multiplayer FPS. I just don't have. I am not good. I guess my reaction time is garbage, and I just get killed really quickly without being able to do much. I'm not good at being aware of my surroundings in FPS, multiplayer FPS.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like single player FPS games because I have like time to actually react. I feel. I like a lot
That's
of
fair.
old school. I like Doom. I love fucking Doom. So
Oh yeah,
the
Doom was a
term
great
is
game.
still very fresh with me, but that's because I don't really keep up with all the other shooters that are coming out nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
I'm into like
And I think go
sorry
ahead.
what? I was gonna say
I was just,
I'm into like the older school shooters. Like I like
mhm.
Fear a lot. I liked Half-Life. I like Doom. Uh,
I played Prey recently, and that was very good.
I have the old one on Steam actually. I should play that.
Ah,
A friend gave it to me because they thought I'd like it, and I never got around to it, of course. So someday.
mhm.
What about third-person shooters? I love them actually. I like third-person shooters a lot more than first-person. Go figure.
I think that third-person shooters are also sort of supplanting first-person in the terms of narrative games. If you have a game that's going to be campaign-based, even if it's something like Doom,
yeah,
I think it's more likely nowadays that the dev team is going to turn it into a third-person shooter than make it a first-person shooter.
I love Resident Evil 4 a lot, and then that started off. I think Resident Evil 4 started the third-person shooter thing, or at least made it
I would-
like big.
hmm. I would have said Mass Effect, but I don't know the timeline between those two.
I think Resident Evil 4 came first, but I'd have to check.
That-
Don't quote me on that. Splatoon. I have not played Splatoon, but I should. I only played fourth-person shooters. What? What? What are you
Actually,
talking
wait,
about, kid?
I know how to solve this for certain. I know how to solve it. So we're just gonna. I'm here. Okay, ready?
Okay.
Well, Mass Effect definitely came out before Resident Evil 4. See, if you say it confidently and you're wrong, someone in chat will correct you.
Oh.
See, that's the trick. You can't be wishy-washy. If you say
Okay.
it confidently enough, and then either you'll be right, or you'll be wrong enough that somebody will have to fact check you.
Okay. I was fairly certain that Resi 4 came out first. That was on the GameCube. Mass Effect, I think, was
almost certainly.
Xbox 360, which is like the next generation, I believe. Yeah. The PS3 era. PS3.
Actually, it's
Wii.
only 2 years apart.
Oh.
Resi 4 was 05, and Mass Effect 1 was 07.
Oh, wow. Huh.
So
I was
close
still
to
right, though. I was still right.
You were. I gotta respect it.
Do not argue with the peg. Whatever. But but yeah, I like fourth person, third person shooters a lot. I liked Resident Evil 4, and then when 5 came out, I was hyped. Played that in multiplayer. This was a fourth person shooter. Third person. I'm
Wow,
crazy.
That is just living rent. That is living rent free in your brain now, isn't it?
Yes, damn it, kitten. Damn it. I think like fourth wall breaking. It's like a third person, but you're fourth wall breaking. That's a fourth person shooter. Some shit. Excited for 3. I think I'll be able to get it at launch. Oh, nice. I have not even played the first Splatoon. I've seen a lot of it, but since I'm bad at like multiplayer shooters, I don't think I do well. But whatever.
I love multiplayer shooters if I can use a keyboard and mouse. I just cannot get first-person games down on a controller. Always had a trouble with it.
Oh, mouse and keyboard FPS all the time. I do.
I got a fun story about that, if you want.
Go right ahead.
So I want to say it was Modern Warfare, but I could be wrong. But there was an Xbox game, and someone learned that you can put keyboard and mouse connections onto a regular Xbox, and because the game was originally made for PC, it just recognized the inputs and said, "Oh, okay, you're using a keyboard and mouse controller, fine." And people who played using keyboard and mouse absolutely dominated because the mouse is just a better pointing device. The better mouses are just more accurate than controllers. Like that's not even a debatable fact. And they actually had to make rules for competitive play to that everybody had to be using controllers so that everyone was on the same platform, because otherwise the games were too unbalanced and keyboard mouse users were dominating.
That's very. Me and my my college buddies actually had that discussion, where like we would some of us were PC gamers and some were console gamers, and we would argue that. My friend argued that, well, then technically people that play on controller should automatically be better if they played on keyboard because they're used to worse controls. And I'm like, well, we need to test that. That's that's a likely theory, but we need to test it. But we never got around to doing that. But that would be interesting to see, actually, to see if that's true.
I mean, a lot of it will come down to game knowledge and map layouts and stuff that will transcend the controller inputs. And you can certainly become very skilled with a controller. I'm not denying that. But at the end of the day, mouse is just a more precision device, and testing has been done on that.
I don't think there's any argument there.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So RPGs, the whole genre of RPGs. Do you ever branch out of RPGs, or is it?
I do.
Okay. From time to time, you just feel like something different.
Yeah. I've done. Let's see. Bloodborne I wouldn't necessarily consider as an RPG per se. And I've also done some children's media, like Wander Song and Chickadee, which were a lot of fun to go through.
Kid games. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mhm.
I'll play horror games and then I'll play like Super Mario Brothers randomly. It'll be like a big difference times in
I
terms of
really
genre.
recommend playing Chicory. Chicory is a phenomenal game that I highly recommend.
Hickory.
Yep.
I'd have to look that up. I've never heard of it. Interesting.
It's adorable and really wholesome and heartening. And it has a really good story, too. It's just well written.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, good summary of the content you can get from Jade. I'm sure y'all are excited. You discussed this earlier. Who made your art model? If you want to DM it to me, I can share their socials. That because
sure.
Nightbot doesn't like links. I posted.
What is the? I think it's just at that on Twitter. Yeah, it is.
Okay. It's... There you go. Check them out on Twitter. Remexin. Nice. They made your. They made both your art and your model, or one or the other.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Both. Interesting. And do they have they made character? You said they're a furry artist.
Any artist can be a furry artist if you make a couple of furry pieces. I mean, they're not like explicitly a furry artist.
Okay.
But they've done a couple of pieces for people who are furry. I mean,
furry as in like that's predominantly what they draw. Furry characters is what
I wouldn't.
I would say.
No, they're not predominantly a furry artist in that case. No, in that sense.
The artist that made my art is. Go figure.
I am shocked to hear this.
Oh no! Oh no! Who would have guessed?
Oh
that?
no!
Hickory is a good game, but it may have the ability to make you cry. That would be something. I lost the ability to feel years ago.
Then I recommend even more to play it with an honest and open heart. Like seriously, give it a shot.
Okay, I may do it sometime. I'll have to look it up first. Your backgrounds. Who made those?
Those are made by Dragon's Last Dream.
Is that how it sounds? How it's spelled?
Yeah, Dragon Last Dream. 1 second here. They don't have a lot of social media, so I can't really link.
Here's their Twitter. Oh no, that's Remexin. Well, fuck it. Here's Remexin's Twitter if y'all want to check them out.
Here's Dragon Last Dream's Instagram. That's their content. That's their.
Okay.
Yeah.
They don't have some pretty cool RPG looking backgrounds. I like them. I saw.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Their work is amazing. You can actually see multiple of my pieces in on their profile.
Nice.
And they're a delight to work with. I'm frequently going back to them for new pieces.
I like how you have a background and your model like in like a square square on the screen. Makes it look very RPG-ish.
Oh yeah,
I enjoy
the
that.
Picture in picture.
Yeah, I like that.
I didn't want to take up too much screen space. That's really what it boils down to. Is I didn't want my model eating up a third of the visual area of the of the screen. And that's another thing is I hate VTubers with ridiculous overlays. I like people who sacrifice 50% of their visible space to overlay, right? I might be calling you out here. I don't actually remember what your overlay looks like, but
a friend made my overlays for free, so I'm not even complaining.
Fair enough.
They made it out of the goodness of their heart, and I love them.
Very good. But that's sort of why I wanted to go the picture-in-picture route. And honestly, it was sort of inspired by streamers, non-VTuber streamers who do webcam setups, right? It's made to look like Disguised Toast or Savits or these actual or Saikuno. So I wanted kind of that aesthetic. So because that also separates me from other VTubers, right? Like I don't stream like most VTubers, partially because of YouTube, partially because of the Let's Play style, partially because I'm different than I'm weird, I guess. But
nothing wrong
doing
with
that
that
sort of Exactly. So doing that with the in lieu of an overlay, sort of filled that niche better for me. I feel.
Well, different strokes, different folks.
Yeah, it's all good.
I think it works well in your case with the RPG aesthetic. Definitely. Hello, Brekik. A friend of yours, I believe.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we have a good chunk of my regulars in your chat now.
Excellent, excellent.
All good people, all of them.
I love meeting new people, new communities. Any artist can be a furry artist. They just have to believe. Drawing furry stuff helps,
True.
though. Too. Yeah, I'd imagine so. All that fur. Ooh.
Mhm.
I started off with human art, but I like drawing furries too. No knots of work though, says Sapphire. That's cool. Interesting.
Can you do Pokemon? I actually have a Pokemon Nuzlocke uploaded right now. It was incredible. It was it was a lot of fun. My first Nuzlocke.
Oh, I think their Dry Bones is asking Sapphire if they can do
Mhm.
Pokemon.
I felt like
But I
answering
like
now.
drawing furries. No sense of work. That's fair. That's fair. The whole say so versus lewd thing, it all depends on your preference. There's no right or wrong.
Mhm.
Who, me? Yeah, I've drawn Pokemon. Yeah. Yeah, it's fun to come up with like designs that you think Pokemon should have, or like your own Pokemon,
Mhm.
especially. Some
Yeah.
artist friends I know go nuts over that.
Mhm. It's a really interesting aesthetic. Pokemon is amazing from just from a design standpoint because there's so much underlying almost every single Pokemon. Like there's layers behind the designs for the majority of them.
Yes, that's
Like
where I think
it's
Pokemon excels character design
Mhm.
and naming too. At least for like the
Mhm.
English name. I
Mhm.
actually wanted to. So, long story short, I've had a love-hate relationship with Pokemon recently. I
Oh.
think the games kind of suck now, to be honest. Not even gonna lie. But
Ooh.
uh mainly I just think Game Freak has gotten lazy because they're the richest franchise on the planet and they have no competition.
Ah. Now
So,
let me actually call you out on that if I may.
ooh, actually, I forget who I'm talking to. You can speak from experience. All right, let's debate that real quick. Enlighten
So,
me.
Pokemon is the largest franchise on the planet.
Yes.
However, Game Freak is criminally underfunded for what they make.
Hmm.
Game Freak is a very underfunded studio.
Really?
Surprisingly so, yes. The Game Freak, I will say that Sword and Shield has a lot of technical limitations, but that's because they were told they had to make a game on a new platform that none of their coders, none of their developers were familiar with, ASAP. Because a lot of people thought the Switch was going to fail, right? Look at
Hmm.
the Wii U. They weren't, and Pokemon has traditionally only been made for handhelds, never for main series consoles.
Yes.
And the main series console Pokemon games like Gale and Battle Studio or Stadium were not made by Game Freak. Those were made by third-party developers.
Hmm. Okay, I didn't know that
So
actually.
so Game Freak was just put to the grindstone and said, "Hey, you need to do this." And that's part of why the whole Dexit thing happened is because we need 8 to full animations for 900 Pokemon in 8 months.
Hmm.
That's unrealistic. That's an unrealistic amount of scope for the number of animators that they are allowed to hire with their budget.
Hmm. That is
So
actually very. That makes a lot of sense actually.
changes the way you look at things, doesn't it?
Yes. Why is that? That doesn't seem to be public knowledge, is it? Or like common
It's
knowledge, I'd
not.
say.
A lot of people don't realize that, and it's a shame because like what Game Freak does dictates the rest of the franchise,
Yes.
but the money from Pokemon is made on movies and merchandise. They
Yes.
don't actually make that much money on the games, and Game Freak's budgets are based on the money that the Pokemon makes from the games, not on what their influence on the franchise.
So where does all that money go?
I mean, you know how capitalism works.
Well, yes. Well, they make their money from merchandise, so that money is split among the production companies for that merchandise.
Mhm.
I'm not I'm not a very business savvy person, so please correct me on anything I'm wrong with.
Yeah, that
But
goes there, goes to the executives, goes
mhm,
to a dozen other procedurals in between, and yeah, but the actual budget for Game Freak themselves is lower than you would expect for the size of Pokemon as a series,
that is
honestly,
wow. Okay.
I think the Dexit was needed. That the Sword and Shield had some tech issues.
Hmm.
No one, I'm not saying it doesn't. The pop in for the is just comically bad.
Yes.
But in their defense, they did fix it for the next game. Legends Arceus is a fantastic game, and I really hope that some of the development changes they did in that game stick around for the future of the franchise.
Yes.
And B, if they were forced to put every single Pokemon in at launch, they would have been strained to breaking. The rest of the game would have suffered. Absolutely.
Hmm. That puts a lot of things in a better perspective because I mean, you
Yeah.
think logically, like with all this money, can't they put more? Because
Hmm.
Pokemon, albeit the games don't make it their lion's share of the money, but that is like the basis for everything else that they do. You'd think they'd put more resources into that, but
Ideally.
yeah, yeah. So basically, the money, even though it is the biggest franchise on the planet, the money is getting split so many ways, and then Game Freak just isn't getting enough funding to develop the games they need to. Huh.
Well, they're still getting their paychecks, but they're not getting as much as you would expect for the
The
scope
games
of
are
a good
still
game that
selling
you expect
incredibly
to make.
well,
True,
but
and honestly, they're good. Go play Legends Arceus. It's a good game.
I
They actually made a lot of good changes to the core systems of Pokemon.
yes, that gameplay wise, I think it's a step up from what I've seen. But then there's still
Hmm.
issues of like there's no voice acting still, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like quality of life improvements that I'm also really upset about how features in Pokemon games are constantly added and removed. Like
Okay.
I
Yeah.
liked Mega Evolutions. I like them a lot.
Hmm.
And they're gone. The only games you
Now
can play
that
them in are the 3DS.
mhm.
That's it. You can't play them on
Now that's a
anything
fair
else.
cop. Now
Uh
that is absolutely a fair criticism.
yes, and you can't move your Pokemon from home back to the bank. So if you move them over,
Yeah.
you're screwed. You'd have to start over your
Yeah.
3DS games all over again.
Hmm.
And another thing, I hate it when they don't let you walk around in the overworld with your Pokemon. That's a feature that
Hmm.
they've been very stingy with. Only certain games they
Hmm.
give that to you, when I think that should be a staple.
Go
So
play Arceus. That's really the best thing I can say is because they fix all
yes.
those.
Although like after the Diamond Pearl remakes, I did a playthrough the Diamond remake. And
Mhm.
while it's still the core fun experience, they didn't add like anything to it. Basically, you're just getting, which
Yeah.
I heard they also just took like the code from the originals and just put them on the Switch in the new, like with the fancy visuals. It's like the same
I
code,
mean,
I hear.
no.
That's what I heard from a
It's
YouTuber on YouTube, so I don't know, but
it's
they
so
a
I
lot of
think
copy
what you're
pasting is what
referring
I heard.
to, they use the same mechanics as the original one. So things that have been updated in Pokemon were not updated in those versions.
Right.
That's a different statement from saying they're reusing all the same code. But I can understand why someone would say
I
that.
think they were talking about like the physics, like the movement and everything around the map or something along that line, but I'd have to go look at that video again.
Maybe.
It's been a minute since
I
I saw that.
can answer that offhand. Though I will say, they do fix one of like the biggest issues in Pokemon in the remake, which is the original ones required you to sacrifice a third of your team to function as HM slaves, and that's no longer a concern in the
Yes.
remake.
That is good. Excellent. Yes. But
So for
that's
what it's
yeah, but when you look
quality
at
of life
the
change.
Alpha Sapphire, Omega Ruby, they added way more in
Mhm.
those remakes. There was way more
That's
stuff.
true. Yeah, that's true.
So, and I understand that that game was handed off to a different developer. I forget the name, but I don't
Mhm.
know. Like, I was just really like, meh.
I think that remake was actually handed off to the same developer that made the Gale of Darkness and Coliseum games.
Hmm. Okay. I mean, I like that you could walk around with your Pokemon. That was good.
Yeah,
But then
it's
like, there's also like they didn't add a lot of the Pokemon. It was still only Gen 4 Pokemon and nothing else. I mean, I don't know. I just got really burned out on the games having such minimal like thought put into them, it felt like. But if what you say, well, since I trust what you say that they are understaffed, underfunded, That makes total sense.
Mhm.
So, I don't know. I've been thinking about just going into Pokemon alternatives because there are some out there besides
Yeah,
Digimon.
yeah.
There's Yokai Watch, there's
Mhm.
Temtem,
Tempting.
and then there's Koromon, I think is a new one. And I was thinking about getting into those. I played a little bit of Temtem, but the problem with that game was even though the mechanics and everything I think are all around better, the character
Mhm.
design is not that good.
And that's kind of the backbone of Pokemon, isn't it?
Yes, that is a big, big part about Pokemon. um, like I don't all the names and the designs are not memorable to me. I can't name any of them if you ask me right now from Temtem. So
Fair though.
mass props to Pokemon for their character design. Definitely. Definitely.
You know what Pokemon kind of like I played that was interesting? I'm not gonna say it's great because it had issues, but was interesting. The Monster Hunter Stories game have Pokemon mechanics in that, like, and where
Really?
you collect monster eggs and hatch them to be your friends, and you train them.
Huh.
And while the games are flawed, it's interesting because they don't try to make a Pokemon game. They try to make their own game of a monster collecting training game. And it shows that they were, you can see how they were trying to make something unique, and they succeeded because it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't play like a Pokemon ripoff, but at the same time, it's not a perfect game, but it's an interesting game. And sometimes it's more important to be interesting than be good, right? Sometimes it's more
Yeah.
important that you have a unique idea, you have a unique concept that you can show the world, and that you're doing something fascinating than that you're making the best possible game that you could make.
To be thought provoking with your design.
Mhm.
Definitely. Definitely. Because then even then you could go back with a future game and use that idea and refine it. It's always good to
Exactly.
do that. Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
But yeah, oh crap. I got really into talking about Pokemon. Oops. But that actually I think
You got
more
you got me to talk about game design. We're both going down this hill.
uh-oh. But why isn't that more publicly known? Because they were criticized super hard for Sword and
Um,
Shield.
because the people who said that were shouted down with people pointing at how much money Pokemon was making. That's really what it was.
Hmm.
And it's not like they're underfunded. Let me let me reiterate my statement because the wording I use, I think, actually is important.
Hmm.
Their studio is underfunded for what you would expect for one of the largest franchises in the world. They're
Hmm.
not, choking completely. They still have a phenomenal team, and they're still getting their paychecks. My statement is, for the scope and expectations of a game franchise like Pokemon, they're not funded as well as you would expect them to be. And
Very
you
true.
see why I'm harping on that phrasing there, right?
Yes. So you're still saying like compared to like a small studio, Game Freak still trumps them by far, right?
Yeah, they're
Welcome to
probably comparable to, like,
Glitchyland.
I don't
Enjoy all
know,
the rides
iOS
and make sure not
Montreal,
to
or
freeze to
like
death.
yeah, one of the Square Enix studios up in Vancouver.
Hmm. Okay.
That's
That's
still in
very
Vancouver,
fair.
right?
Very
I
fair.
think so.
Kobold Sprig, thank you for the follow. Welcome to Glacierland.
Yo! Hi, Spig.
I'm gonna assume that they're a friend of yours because of their name. Hello, welcome, welcome. We're here with Jade today, talking all about
Mhm.
VTubing. We just got done
Spig
with
senpai.
the big discussion with Game Freak.
Mhm.
But also, I do think like they are making too many games too quickly as well. Like the release window is like a year between each now, I think, or a
Yeah.
year and a half
Mhm.
maybe. They,
And they can't. Right?
I think they should slow down.
I think they should, but I don't think they can.
Is it just
I
Nintendo?
think they,
Is someone pressuring them? Nintendo will be like, do it, or is it
oh,
something else?
I think honestly, cultural relevance is pressuring them. They need to make a new Pokemon game because they need to make a new Pokemon game. Not to be completely tautological, but that really is what it boils down to. They are making, they need to release every year because a new Pokemon needs to come out every year. Otherwise, Pokemon becomes less culturally relevant. And if Pokemon becomes less culturally relevant, then that will affect the entire franchise, not just the individuals, not just the individual game. So
Hmm.
I think they kind of have that pressure just from parent company and from Nintendo and from just in general the world and the culture to make these games. Now, admittedly, they do outsource many of the spin-off games,
Hmm.
and but
That's
by and
probably for the
large, and
best. Yeah.
yeah. But by and large, I think that they, I think that if they held off on the next major game for 3 years, it would hurt a lot. Like, a game would be incredible, but it wouldn't be enough to make up for the amount of cultural relevance that Pokemon would have lost.
I think back
That's
in
my
the
two
old
cents.
days, it was at least like 2 years between a new generation or something like that,
Mhm.
where it was
Yeah.
has maybe society or the norms have changed to where we want things quicker and faster and like the next generation, hurry up, let's do this. I think,
And there's a difference between a new generation and a major game every year, right? Yeah.
yeah. I
Arceus
don't know.
is a major game, but it's not a new generation per se.
I was very underwhelmed by Sword and Shield. I was bored
That's fair.
with
That's
majority
reasonable.
of it. It was all Pokemon games are pretty easy, but I
Mhm.
think X and Y was the easiest and worst by far in terms of difficulty.
Now, there are difficulty settings.
Yes.
Don't forget that.
Wait, there were? Wait,
There
am I
always
crazy?
have been.
Well,
Yes, you are.
there's battle and set. What is it? The
Uh,
set thing?
There's battle and set.
Mm-hmm.
There's no mart, where you buy anything from a Pokemart and you can only use stuff you find on the ground. There's Nuzlocke, of course.
Wait, those aren't built into the games though.
Why do they have to be?
Wait. No Mart.
Oh,
Those are okay. You're talking about
Oh?
player. You're talking about player infused difficulty.
I am
Okay.
absolutely talking about that because I feel that it's relevant. I feel like that is a valid counter argument, especially to a franchise that's as well known and well loved as Pokemon. I think that saying there's no difficulty options is actually a mistake, because there are lots of community instigated difficulty increases.
Yes.
Sort of like how Dark
Like
Souls
a
and Elden Ring
single
has builds that are much easier. Like, the easy mode of Demon Souls is to play a magic build. That doesn't mean you're not playing Demon Souls anymore. It means you're playing the game in a slightly easier way, even though you're accomplishing the same hurdles. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And Kobold Sprig, actually, I didn't actually read that one before Sprig said that. We were just sharing a brain cell, apparently.
Oh, wow. Dark Souls options made within the community. I mean, yes, I know about like one thing I did want to try sometime would be a gym leader run where you have a team of just one type, which is good as long as like there's a varied. Well, now it's becoming in more newer games. I think it kind of sucks now because there's less Pokemon to choose from. But
yeah, I did one run a long time ago that was a blast, where it was a mystery egg run, where the first time you get to a computer, you take you're a starter and trade it to a friend, and that friend takes an egg. They take an egg that they've that of any Pokemon of their choice, preferably chosen by randomizer, but realistically, there's some egg that they have in their inventory that they forgot what it was, and they give it to you, and that replaces your starter, and you have to use it. I did one of those, and one of my friends gave me a Dunsparce. And you know what? I found a way to make a broken Dunsparce build that ended up sweeping gyms.
Dunsparce is viable from what I understand. Why don't they give you something terrible like
Not back then.
or they give you something terrible like a Beedrill or something? Something like
You find a way to make it work. Beedrill can do work.
I'm trying to think of one that's pretty useless. Magikarp's not useless because then Gyarados becomes God. But
Right. And that's part of the beauty of Pokemon, is that almost every Pokemon can be useful, especially
what's a terrible Pokemon? Love Disc. How about that?
Love Disc would probably be the hardest, I'll admit that. But even
Yeah, like-
Sunkern into Sunflora, which can, you can build a team, a Sun team around, or whatever. Yeah.
This is a Pokemon podcast. Oh my god, it's all my fault. I'm so sorry.
Yo, welcome to the Pokemon Cast. I'm here with Emperor Penguinino.
Oh,
Having a good
God.
time.
Oh god. Pokemon is made for kids. The devs need to create them first because that's their market. That's true. Very true. This, however, gives adults teams the freedom to make their own difficulties. That's also
Well
true.
phrased.
I wish they would put in built-in difficulty settings for those that want them. Personally, I think Black and White did. I think they did. I forget, but I don't know. Some people are normies and they just want the game to be harder by default. Or difficulty settings by default, and that's me. I don't want you to do. If you give me the option to cheat or do easy shit, I'm probably gonna do it.
But like, that's on you, right? At the end of the day.
True, but I don't know. I'm weird like that. I'm old school, I guess.
I want it.
I'm old school. I'm not used to modding games, to be honest. Like, I usually don't, unless it's unless it's Sonic 3 and Knuckles, which Sega being stupid with it, but that's a long story. But
Yeah,
for the most part, I don't really mod games.
that's
Unless
fair.
it's like unless something's really broken in a game, I'm probably not gonna mod it.
That's
Or
fair.
yeah.
But yeah, I think that's my 2 cents on difficulty options, because especially for as long running a franchise as Pokemon.
Yes.
That's my 2 cents on it.
It is impressive that they lasted this long and still make this much money off of them. Credit where
True,
credit's due.
absolutely. Hmm.
Challenge Rice,
And like I said,
Nuzlocke. Sorry, what?
and like I said before, they changed the formula a lot in Arceus. Pokemon Legends Arceus changes a lot of the core mechanics,
Yes.
and for the better, vastly for the better. They kill a lot of the golden. Here's a game design term. You know what it means to destroy the golden calves.
Sorry, what? The golden
There's a
what?
there's a game design term called slaying the golden calf. It's where you take away something that the players expect to be the players assume to be a part of the game. Like, imagine if Dungeons and Dragons didn't use a d20 for attacks, right?
Okay.
Now, you could argue, well, yeah, 3d6 is a better bell curve. It's more reliable. It gives you roughly the same results, except that the bell curve distribution is going to be better, game design, because you have a better averages and less swings. But it feels wrong, right? It just feels like that's the thing that D&D has to do. You use a d20. But then the question is, why do you use a d20? And the answer becomes tautological. The answer becomes self-fulfilling. You use a d20 because it's D&D. There's no reason why you should need to do that. And when 3d6 would give you would genuinely give you a better bell curve on your results.
Very true. I have terrible luck, and I like to roll consistently below 10 on a d20. It's pretty bad. I have really bad luck rolls.
But that's called those are referred to as golden calves. And for many things in Pokemon, for a long time it was HMs. That was just a thing that Pokemon had. Why wouldn't you have that? Or, what was something like the turn order was changed in Legends Arceus, in that you actually run off of, you don't have a back and forth turn. Your turn actually is based off your speed stat. Like and honestly, the turn order is based off of Final Fantasy X, in that you have a turn order based off of speed stat, and certain attacks can change your speed and how quickly you go up, which is fantastic from a design standpoint, because you can get more granularity and actually take that and say, oh, well, how much faster should this attack make to balance it against its power, or how much slower for that matter.
Yeah.
And you can't do that if you are doing the classic Pokemon format of, each of us make an attack and the faster Pokemon goes first. So that's what I mean when I'm talking about, slaying the golden calves, is that in the newer Pokemon Arceus, for example, they changed so many things, and that's just one example of it. They changed so many things in the formula that you just kind of say, well, of course Pokemon does this. That's what Pokemon does.
Yes.
And instead they say, hey, let's actually redesign some of these core functions to make them better.
Yes, like another thing with the Diamond remakes that made me mad. They kept random encounters. I hate those. That is so outdated, such an outdated game design thing. When they already fixed it in the other remakes where the Pokemon are just running around in the field. That is so much better to me.
Fair. For a game like Pokemon, I'd agree. I still did love Octopath Traveler, which used random encounters, and I think it used them very well. I still think that was a really engaging way of making the game. That said, I agree with you. For a casual game like Pokemon, having them all be visible, like again in Legends, is a much better way of designing it.
In an RPG, it doesn't matter because you're not looking for a certain enemy usually. Well, usually in turn-based RPGs. In Pokemon, you are. So having them walk around in the grass, I mean, so much time is saved than just running around in circles hoping you find the right one. Like, I hate that. That was one of the reasons why I decided I need to stop buying Pokemon games. Because Game Freak is just not getting better, I thought. And I did. Yes. Okay. Arceus. I swore off Pokemon. I didn't buy Arceus. Maybe I'll get back into Pokemon. I don't know. But yeah, they have good character designs. That's what we started with. That's what we started this shit with. God damn it. Well, the thing is, it is relative to you being in game design, so it is something you are. That is good to know. Yeah, let me just highlight this whole fucking Pokemon section. The Pokemon podcast with Jade.
Yeah, welcome.
Anyway, we were talking about your art model. Okay, so let's move on. Next question. All right. Assuming
I mean, it's all good.
since you are a VTuber, I assume that
Hi.
you probably like anime.
True.
Okay. So what are some of your
Next question.
favorite? That's the first thing I have to ask because I've actually found a VTuber. I was looking for a VTuber that didn't like anime, and the last person I interviewed didn't like anime. Who was a VTuber.
Oh, okay.
It was very
That's
funny.
fair.
So I do ask, you like anime, right? As a joke, but then I actually found someone that didn't. But yeah. What are
You're like,
some of your
oh, weird.
what are some of your favorite anime that you'd like to talk about or list real quick? To give people an idea of your tastes.
So I watch a lot of different genres. I have actually helped run. I'm actually one of the managers for one of the largest anime conventions in North America for the past 20 years. So
I might guess which one that is, but I'm not going to say.
Fair. And so I have a lot of anime opinions. So, and I am very familiar with a lot of obscure titles. My favorite anime is The Time of Eve.
I've heard the name,
And
never watched it.
it's a lot of people haven't seen it because, well, the studio just made like 6 episodes or so and ran out of funding and opened up, and it was a tragic because the writing in it is incredible. The character development is exquisite. And they ran a Kickstarter to turn those 6 episodes into one feature-length movie. And it was outstanding. I highly recommend The Time of Eve, the movie. It is genuinely my favorite anime experience.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A hidden gem.
Takes place.
Hidden gem
It takes
recommendation
place,
is gold.
Yeah, it takes place in the Isaac Asimov worlds, with iRobot and those books. It takes place in with the robots being seen as second-class citizens, and it looks into those concepts.
Okay. It's been on recommendation lists that I've seen on the internet. I just never actually sat down and watched it. Which I should take more time to watch older stuff that I've missed.
It's not that old.
What is it, 2010s?
Something like that.
Thousands?
I'm sorry. When I think of old anime, I'm thinking of, like mid 80s.
Okay. I guess 90s would be considered old now, but or 2000s and 90s. That's
Back in my day, we had more anime that was good. We liked it.
Now we're all like Miyazaki now. Old otakus just turn into Miyazaki, I think.
There you go.
Oh, goodness. How dare people treat us like second class? Jake, you're Canadian, and now I don't want to watch. That's my favorite. People apparently want PokeCast. I mean, I guess I could do that. I guess I could do that with somebody or whatever. If Jade wants to come back, I'd be down. But
I'm down.
Okay,
Hit me up.
We'll just have another stream just about Pokemon. We'll do that. Where I hate Pokemon and Jade likes Pokemon. There we go. That would actually be a good dichotomy.
Yeah. Maybe you fire up like Legends and we just talk about it while you play. That could be we could do a collab on that. That could be a thing. I don't know.
I don't want to spend more money on Pokemon right now. I did swear
Reasonable.
off after
Okay,
the Diamond
mind.
remake. If someone buys me the game, I'll play it. I have it on my I have it on my throne, and someone really wants me to play it. I just do not want to buy it with my money.
This can happen. It's up to you. If this doesn't happen, it's on you, chat. This is up to you guys now.
I'm shamelessly promoting my throne right here. Here you go, guys. Go nuts if you want. Wink, wink. I'm just kidding. But yeah, maybe that's something I consider. Yeah, definitely. You need one person who's only seen the anime and never played the games. Huh. Interesting. But yeah, are there any other anime you'd like to recommend?
Oh, several. If you want to go full retro, Serial Experiments Lane is a phenomenal anime that's well written, well handled, and a lot of people have not gone back and watched it, which is, well, kind of a shame.
Big mindfuck anime, definitely.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
If you want to go with something really silly and hilarious, promise me you'll watch at least 3 episodes and don't get scared off in the first 5 minutes. But Grand Blue Dreaming is genuinely one of the funniest anime that I have ever seen. It
Man,
is
Blue
hilarious.
Dreaming?
It will scare you off. It will try to make you go, wait, I don't want to watch this in the first 30 seconds, like in the first 30 seconds of the first episode. But give it a few episodes. It genuinely is hilarious. It's one of the funniest anime like that has
Oh,
been released.
I've seen clips of this show. A little
It's hilarious. It's really funny.
I saw some boob jokes from that series or something. I remember seeing clips. Huh. Okay. I would check that out. I do remember having it on my to watch list. It's
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
If you like high art, and don't watch this if you do not like high art, but if you like high art and no theater style and more of a classical play format, Angel's Egg
Mm,
is an entire anime done in the art with the art director of Yoshitaka Amano, the artist who does all those classic Final Fantasy paintings,
hmm
and it is beautiful and stunning, and every frame is a painting, and you it's not a casual watch. It's the kind of thing you go to like you're going to an opera, right? And if you're not in the mood for that, skip it, seriously. But if you are, it's phenomenal.
That has been recommended. Oh, there's a YouTuber I used to watch, Demolition D, or I guess his name is
Oh,
Douchebag Chocolat. He did
yep, that's
highly
the one.
recommend that show or
Mhm.
movie. Sorry.
Also, a lot of Elden Ring takes inspiration from that, actually.
Oh wow. I think did it
Yeah.
also inspire Berserk?
Yep. Hmm.
The egg was
Well,
like the
Berserk
baler, right?
actually already was in manga before then, but that
Oh,
inspired the direction. That inspired the direction of Berserk.
okay. I
So,
get the Balit vibes from some of the art I'm seeing.
yeah.
Nice.
Hmm.
Yay. We have Angel's Egg, Grand Blue, and Time of Eve, and Serial Experiments Lane. That's a pretty good list, actually. Those are a
Hmm.
series I haven't. My other
Very
guests have
diverse list
not.
at that.
None of my guests have brought up any of those shows. I think. Heck,
Mhm.
that's a good
A
list.
very diverse list in at that, right?
Yes. Look at it as an art, not as a regular anime. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what
Mhm.
Demolition D was talking about. He was like enthralled with the art of that movie. Okay, so are we talking about Angel's Egg? We yes, we just talked about it. Oh god, is Angel's Egg stream now? Oh god. Oh god.
Hey,
Oh my
look,
god.
if we're going to talk about the philosophy and psychology underlying Angel's Egg and how it unwraps the classical Dadaist artwork into a no theater-esque format, then I'm here for that stream.
Hmm. Yeah. I was thinking about doing like a I've done an anime tier list stream with a friend, but I've never done one of my own. I might do that.
Yeah,
I'll tier
sweet.
list like all the stuff I've seen. Well, I'll have like people give me stuff to put on the tier list, but I can only really like hear things I've seen. I could probably do
Hmm.
that. I'd do that. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, that's a good list. Thank you, thank you. There are stuff I want to.
Mhm.
I've heard of all those. Yeah, I've heard of all those, but I just never watched them except for Serial Experiment. That's the only one.
Mhm.
Okay, so next question. Okay, this is a bit of everyone. What has been the most challenging aspect of VTubing for you so far?
Hmm. That's an interesting question.
Yep. Or like your least favorite aspect, I'd say. Something you, I guess, dislike. Or what really grinds your gears?
um, the the fact that everything is made for Twitch.
You mean in terms of streaming? Like
In
that?
terms of OBS plugins and in terms of features and in terms of integrations, yeah.
Mm,
I mean, I'm much happier on YouTube, and I'm sure we'll talk about this more in a little while because I know that was one thing you wanted to bring up.
yes.
But that's one thing that's a little frustrating is that everything's made for Twitch.
They don't really put YouTube options on a lot of things.
Yeah, they just don't work. Sapphire, Violence of Hamlet is a phenomenal anime. It's my favorite anime that I can't recommend. It's not necessarily good, but it's even though it's really interesting and the writing is like phenomenal, I can't actually put that on a recommendation list.
It's something you personally enjoy, but wouldn't recommend to other people. You don't see other people really looking up.
It's really good when you put it under a microscope and look at it,
Hmm.
but I can't recommend it to somebody who just wants to sit back and relax and watch it. You know, it's a bit too esoteric and a bit too um not that it's weird because it's not like a Digi Chirot style where the weirdness is a thing. It's just um not as good as a whole as the components of all of its parts, I guess is how
Hmm.
I'd phrase it. Because if
Okay.
you look at the story, it's good. If you look at the characters' designs, it's good. If you look at the actual art style, it's good. But somehow the sum ends up being less than the sum of its parts.
Hmm. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting. If you have a big anime aficionado, then who likes to look into classical anime, it's worth the watch. But but
Okay.
it's asterisks for days.
That's a show I'll probably save for a rainy day, I'd say.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Okay. So you hate Twitch, basically. I'm kidding.
Um,
But I just
I
summed the whole
wouldn't
fucking
say.
stream up. Twitch sucks. Jade the Kobold.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, I'm
I'm just
much
kidding.
happier on YouTube. I mean, do we want to start talking about that stuff now?
Yeah, I believe this is an appropriate question for it.
It's a good segue.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so Twitch is a different world than YouTube. It's
Hmm.
functions differently, chats function differently, what's important in viewer counts function differently, and those differences add up. You can't be a Twitch streamer on YouTube and you can't be a YouTube streamer on Twitch because in both cases you will be missing part of why people go to that platform.
Mhm.
I mean, if you have think about in your brain, you know what? I'm doing this. Hold on. I want you to think about in your brain that the FPS streamer Chad Powerton, who's looking at, who's going, "Yo, I just shot this guy right in the balls," and yelling at chat, reading off every single line. Yeah, Tuzzy Fox, okay, kitten, same, and like that type of hype streamer with 1,000 redeems and a billion overlays, and every time someone
Oh
redeems,
my god, you're
16
describing
pops on the screen.
somebody that I'm friends with. That's funny. That's fucking
You
funny.
There's a lot of those.
Oh,
I'm friends with like a dozen of these
like
people.
I was watching my friend play Call of Duty last night, and she was exactly like that. It's funny. Shout out to Space June. Oh my god. But yeah, continue, please.
But like, and now like take that and compare it to, like Alpha Rad on YouTube, or like for example, or who are some of the other big YouTubers? Playframe is one of my favorite, one of my personal favorites, but like the YouTube is a much different environment that has more. I don't want to say it has more respect because that's not correct, but it has more of a calm atmosphere. It has more of an atmosphere of I'm going because I'm interested in the streamer, what they want to say. They're going to be they're going to be saying things that are going to be intriguing to me, and I want to see what their takes on the game, as opposed to I want something that's going to be bright and flashy, and I hope the streamer I hope senpai notices me and says my name in chat, and like I feel like they attract different audiences, and plus the addition of like the VODs versus the Let's Plays, right?
Yeah.
One which we discussed a little bit earlier. And in addition to that, like all the plugins are made to encourage that. I mean, do you have any sound redeems I can throw up right now to
Yes. I have some sound alerts. Yeah, I have applause.
Okay.
I have Baka Hentai. I have Baka Baka Baka.
Yep.
I have Yamete
Mhm.
Kudasai. Yeah, I have those.
And if you were watching, say for example, how long do you stream? Out of curiosity, how long is your average stream?
That really varies, actually.
For games.
Recently, in the past, I've had a problem with streaming too long. I would be streaming like 4 hours plus daily.
Okay.
Just because I get really into what I'm playing, and then I think I just I don't know. I would put being entertaining on the backseat as opposed to just gaming. Um, but recently during weekdays has been much shorter, like 2.5 to 3 hours on the
Okay.
normal.
How would you feel if you were watching a something on YouTube, sitting back, relaxing, sipping some tea in my imagination world that I'm making for the straw man,
Mhm.
and so all of a sudden, like you're watching the streamer and you just hear, "I'm Pickle Rick!" coming out of like six different redeems simultaneously. It's like that's only fun if you're live,
Yes,
right?
that is very
You'd agree
much
with
so.
that, right?
Yes, I would.
That's only fun if you're live.
Mhm. Seeing if you're just watching it on YouTube as a VOD, it doesn't have the
Yeah.
same impact. It'd be kind of annoying because you're more
Exactly.
immersed in what's happening on the video rather than trying to talk to them. Definitely.
1,000% exactly.
It is a different
Mm.
beast entirely.
Yeah. And that's why that's kind of my point is as a YouTuber, I want to play to what works well on YouTube, and I want to play in a style that I think is going to be more engaging to YouTube audiences and that I want to do because that's also the content I consume. That's what I watch. That's what I personally enjoy. Therefore, that's what I want to create.
Yes.
Me being a VTuber is just my way of making this content, but I am not a Twitch streamer. I am not Chad Power.
I
That
need to
doesn't mean I
bring
don't
this
read
up.
chat. I do read all the chat and I do respond to it, but it comes out different.
That is well. The thing is, like, I was thinking about it. Like, when you're streaming yourself playing games, people come
Mhm.
because they want to talk to you because they can. That's all. I think
Yeah.
that's the main interest in it. If they didn't want to talk to you, they would just watch a Let's Play on YouTube. They just go for the gameplay. So, like,
And you'd be surprised how many people come to my streams and put it on as background while they're painting miniatures or making drawings,
mhm,
and because I tend to have a little bit more of a low key vibe,
mhm.
so people aren't coming to me for those hype moments.
They're coming to chill.
They're coming to chill,
Yeah, and
and I
unwind and
provide chills.
relax. That's good. That's good. That's a good service to provide. Um,
Mhm.
but it's interesting that they do that actually while you're streaming, as opposed to just the VODs.
Yeah, because I am still active and present, and I am still talking with chat. If they want to say something, I will respond.
Hmm.
But you're not gonna have the baka baka redeems, and it's not going to be that type of interaction. It's going to be a different. And again, I don't want to say it's going to be a more respectful interaction, even though I will admit that's how I see it.
Hmm.
I know that's the wrong way to phrase it.
That, but the Alpha Chad COD streamer is more built for
Mhm.
Twitch, definitely, and they will probably
Yeah,
do
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot better than someone
Mhm.
who does your style on Twitch. Which
Absolutely,
I think
absolutely.
I think I actually have more of your style when I stream. I'm not super explosive and like sometimes I don't check chat as often as I should. I'll get caught up in the game that I'm playing, which is something bad that I
Mhm.
do. It's
Yeah.
interesting. Like chat usually dies out usually like a couple hours into an hour or two into my stream when I'm actually gaming
Mhm, mhm.
because I'm not paying as much attention
Same.
to chat as I should. Which but then there are some of my chat that just like listening to my voice too as well. One of my
Mhm.
viewers said he listens to me in the shower, and he's like, "How does that make you feel to know somebody does that?" And I'm like, "Well, I guess that makes me feel special. I don't know."
Yeah, and there are good chill streamers on Twitch. I'm not saying there aren't. Kobold Sprig
Yeah.
is a fantastic example of that.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, if you compare, for example, Pomu Rainpuff and Nianners, both of them have that wild, uproarious laughter, ridiculous moment style, but Nianners' style on Twitch plays towards Twitch, and Pomu's style on YouTube plays towards YouTube. And you can sort of see those distinctions.
Apparently, some of my viewers like my voice, so I'm like, okay, cool. It makes me feel really special that people.
Apparently, some people like my voice too. I don't understand it, but apparently, some people enjoy this.
Oh yes, they love the ASMR. They love that. Hmm? Yeah, I don't know. I I don't hate my voice. Like most streamers apparently do. I don't hate mine. I just think I sound kind of silly. Somebody said
I
I sometimes sound like a Homer Simpson or something, and I'm like, you know what?
I
I
wouldn't.
take that as a compliment.
Fair enough.
And Castellaneta, I'm fine in
Absolute
comparison.
legend.
Yeah,
Absolute legend.
no problem being compared to him.
I didn't like I was actually genuinely dysphoric about my voice for a long time, despite being an actor.
Mm,
And it's in more recent times that I've started to enjoy my own voice more and focus on it more, frankly.
yeah. Do you? So, I assume you probably go back and watch your own VODs to review them. Huh?
Yeah, either for making some edits or some shorts or TikToks or whatnot, or just to see what I'm doing. I feel like you have to watch your own VODs once in a while, right? You have to
That
check in with yourself and see how you're doing.
that's something I need to do more. I do check clips, but not my full VOD. I should do that more. Review myself to see what I need to change. But yeah, definitely. But like, I it's just funny that like I don't hate my voice. I'm just like, eh. But then like people actually like it, so I'm like, cool. That's a cool.
Cool. Index, I didn't mean that as ASMR. I just was trying to do
No.
I was just trying to do the dark and sultry voice. I don't know. I wasn't actually trying to ASMR. So sorry.
Index loves those types of voices, and she goes crazy for him. That's why she's like, stop!
Mhm.
Don't
Oh,
start!
fair.
Wait, I know who
Well,
Penguin
thank
Auto's voice reminds me of. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What do I
What?
remind people?
Huh?
I've heard I laugh like
Oh.
Chucky sometimes. The killer doll.
Mhm. Oh yeah, that's the other thing is that the classic kobold goes yip yip yip, and that's kind of how I've been told that's how my laugh is. My laugh is my yip. It's a high pitched yipping chirp laugh. But
It's a dude who does infrastructure videos. Jade watches them a lot. I don't know.
Oh yeah, you do kind of sound like not just bikes.
Not
Okay.
just spikes?
Not just bikes, yeah.
Infrastructure, like buildings?
City planning mostly.
Ah, interesting.
Talking about how North American roads are designed compared to the Netherlands, and it's one of those things it's sort of like a cursed knowledge where once you see it, you can't stop seeing it. Once you learn these things, you can't unlearn them. It's really interesting. I'll link you some of these videos later.
Interesting. I'll definitely want to listen to the person that sounds like me. Once they turn out to be my doppelganger. Gotta go kill him now.
You're disguised. Move on to you.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. But yeah. So, YouTube, you dig the vibe. You dig the more laid back vibe.
Yeah. Mhm.
But
it's definitely missing stuff. It's missing some things on Twitch that I am just desperate and thirsty for. I want raids. I would love nothing more than what the community building aspect of having access to raids would be. If I could raid other VTubers on YouTube, that would help the YouTube community not have to go to other platforms to communicate.
Definitely.
I would love to have more accurate metrics recordings, because if you are watching on Twitch and you lag, you have a bit of a stutter and then it catches you up on the video, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you go back to live, right?
Right.
That's not how YouTube is.
Ah.
If you lag for a couple seconds, then what happens is the video pauses for a moment, freezes, and now you are watching the video, but no longer live. It picks you up where you froze at, which I think I get. Actually, I kind of like that, but it picks you up from where you froze at, which means you're no longer considered a live viewer. You're watching it. You're watching it either a few seconds or, in some cases, a few minutes off of when the live presentation is.
Oh, so it messes with the view count, huh?
It messes with the view count a lot. So I will be sitting there. Okay, true story. I was playing Pokemon, and yeah, this was doing my Nuzlocke, and we were trying to name one of the Pokemon. I think it was like Noctowl or something, some dumb Pokemon. Anyways, I had at the time 12 concurrent viewers.
Mm-hmm.
I put up a poll to name the Pokemon.
Uh-huh.
Guess how many results my poll had?
None?
15.
Oh.
With 12 concurrent viewers, with 12 live viewers. I had 15 people who were active, like not 15 people watching. I had 15 people who were active enough in chat to respond to a poll. which means I was probably closer to 30 because usually you don't get full engagement on polls, right?
Right. Definitely.
So this is like, neat.
So does lurking work the same on YouTube streams as it does with
What
Twitch
was that?
streamers? Lurking, where someone has the tab muted, but they still count as a viewer, even though they're actually watching.
You have to mute the tab, not the audio. So
Yes.
like you have to mute the tab, not the
It's
audio.
the same with
But
Twitch, yeah.
but if you lag, you're no longer going to be considered live. And
Yeah. Okay.
was it? It was 8 view. Maybe I don't remember exactly. Sapphire. I just remember that it was it was
Higher than what the view count was.
higher than the view count and significantly higher than what you would expect from the view count because
Yes.
again the majority of people do not interact with polls. That's not, especially on my kind of stream where it's more low key and people are usually putting it on as background audio, which I is fine. I actually like it.
You used the master ball to knock. You're kidding, right?
No,
Right?
no, I'm not.
Why did you do that? Why?
It wouldn't get in any other ball.
Uh-huh.
That's it.
They're not hard to come by.
It was a Nuzlocke. That would have been. I could have ignored it. That would be entirely possible, but except that it was not possible at all, and I would never do that.
What?
You think I'm not going to take an opportunity for a bit?
Welcome,
I'm a YouTuber
raiders.
still.
Come on and come on and enjoy the
Hello.
show.
Speaking of raids, I just got raided. Hello.
Hello, Pollo. Welcome.
Hi, Poyo. Welcome, raiders. Hi, Poyo. How was the rest of your stream? And welcome, everybody. I'm the Ice Emperor Penguinato, and today we are interviewing slash podcasting with Jade the Kobold.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ice Emperor Penguinato stream. You are more than welcome here. I hope that you have a wonderful time.
Yes. Yes.
And now they're going to talk like that all the time, and they're going to be so wrong.
Welcome, raiders, to Glacierland. My brain is pudding. I'm so sleepy. Oh, I'm sorry, Poyo. Poyo was playing Stardew, I believe. Let me see. Let me give it a shout out. Do they also do shout outs on YouTube?
Nope.
That sucks. Well, can you have Can you have a bot that does that? Are there
no.
You can't use chat commands like shout out right here?
Nope. I mean, you can make a bot that does that, but it's not going to function well. I mean, it's not going to it's not going to work as well as it does on Twitch because a lot of people don't have their YouTube account active the way many streamers on Twitch are active in other chats. It's just a circle. It's a cyclical problem of YouTube not supporting that sort of content and that sort of content not functioning because YouTube doesn't support similar types of content.
Wow, that kind of sucks. Ups and downs of YouTube, everybody. So
speaking of YouTube, you should flip my channel again. Did you know that if you put your browser and type in kobold.fun, all of your dreams will come true?
Yeah. If you PayPal Jade $1 million, you will get 3 wishes from Magic Land.
True. That's just
even
a fact.
Even trade.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that's a better trade. 3 wishes, you can just wish for another $1 million, or $2 million.
Yeah.
Or 3 million, or a billion.
Or
oh, goodness.
A burger.
I will shout you out if you come into Jade stream chat, though. I have that power. Oh, Sapphire's got powers beyond our comprehension.
Sapphire is one of my mods.
Would you be shouting out a Twitch channel? That'd be weird, wouldn't it?
No, not terribly. I do that whenever I'm collabing with someone on Twitch. I'll shout out people.
Oh, yes. Oiga. Okay, so we've covered. You do not like how Twitch is the favorite child of streaming, and YouTube.
I don't like the way that Twitch is the favorite child of features. I guess is the better way of phrasing it.
Yes, Twitch does win in terms of features for streamers, huh?
Yep, hands down.
But at the same time, well, like I would like the fact that if VODs stayed on Twitch instead of having to download them and then put them on YouTube, or in my case, I just record all my streams and then put them on YouTube. But yeah, that's kind of.
We were talking about this before the stream, but you have access to what, 5 tags? Is it?
Let's see. So you have a category, so like whatever game or whatever kind of stream you're doing, and it'll give you a
Mm-hmm.
tag for whatever category it is. It'll give you certain
Mm-hmm.
tags for that. Which podcasts has an IRL tag on it. I don't like that because it's an IRL, but whatever. This is technically a podcast. Um, but then you can put in 5 tags manually. Yeah. Well, actually, I think yeah, you can put in 5 tags manually. So it's like 5 of your choice, and then whatever else your category comes with. What is YouTube just let you do whatever?
500 characters.
Yes, actually, well, yeah, I put videos on YouTube, and you can do that. Yeah.
I have. Hold on. Let me count how many tags I put on my Outer Worlds stream that's going to be running tomorrow.
Oh God. I've witnessed Jade's tags. Oh boy. Oh dear. Like a
Virtual
page
YouTuber,
worth.
virtual tuber, VTuber, comfy, wholesome, let's play, in different spellings and articulations, gameplay, furry, scaly, playthrough, game, anime, game dev, LP, Japanese versions of VTuber, game developer, game dev, video games, Ina VTuber, Ian VTubers, Kobold, sweet, relaxing. Look,
Good
I
God.
have the option to SEO, and I'm gonna take
just
it.
send me the Word document with like all the tags. Goodness gracious. Huh. Okay. Well, that probably helps with viewership. I imagine.
Mhm.
It is very hard. You have to promote your Twitch streams outside of Twitch, because Twitch does not do a good job of advertising your
Right.
on the platform.
Right.
So that's why we have to use Twitter. We have to use YouTube. We have to use TikTok. All that other crap. That's kind of what sucks about Twitch too. I don't think. Well, it's hard to say, because when it comes to streaming, Twitch is all about streamers, whereas on YouTube it's everything. You have all kinds of videos.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I'm just another type of YouTuber.
So
okay with.
is visibility worse on YouTube when you stream? Like VODs will do good,
Depends on-
but your VODs will do better on YouTube, I imagine.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
in terms of streaming, is it harder to get noticed than it would be on Twitch? I wonder.
I don't think so, because I have access to a lot more of these tags. It becomes easier for people to find me. If you're on Twitch and you have, 3 people watching you, no one's going to find you, because all the categories you're going to be at the bottom of. No matter which tag you use, you're going to be at the bottom of that
Yes,
tag
because
list.
of your viewer count. Yeah.
But if you have a list of SEO modified tags on YouTube, and somebody searches for any one of those, it's going to be the same. But if their search history is going to be something that's inclined to have searched for JRPGs in the past, or if they search for anime stuff in the past, that's going to weight you in their favor. So people who actually will enjoy your streams will be more likely to find your streams, and that's worth a lot to me.
Okay. That's interesting to think.
Mm-hmm.
Well, basically on Twitch, you're competing with everyone who's streaming. On YouTube, you're more competing with everything that's there? Or is it like... Are the streamers considered like a separate category on YouTube?
There's YouTube Live. YouTube Live is its own category,
Okay.
But at the same time, the number of tags means that you can influence the people who find you. You have more control than on Twitch. So there's better discoverability on YouTube, I would say.
So I know HoloLive streams on YouTube. Does Sanji also do YouTube? Do all the big corporates do YouTube?
VShojo's on Twitch.
Okay. But like everybody else is YouTube?
Well, the 3 biggest ones, the 3 big ones, I should say, because no one else really comes close, are those 3. Niji Sanji, HoloLive, and VShojo. Not in that order.
Okay.
But, and yeah, VShojo is the Twitch ones.
Okay. I actually never thought about that. Aside from HoloLive, I didn't pay attention to the other. But yeah, interesting.
Personally, I like Niji Sanji more than HoloLive. I like both platforms. I like both of those teams a lot. They are pretty awesome, frankly. And I have nothing but respect for them. Nothing but incredible content creators and incredible actors.
Yes.
But yeah, between them, my favorite is Niji Sanji.
Okay. Now let's segue into the next question. On the flip side,
wait.
Sorry, what?
Questions? What?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about those. On the flip side of the last question, what has been your favorite aspect about VTubing?
Honestly, this is gonna sound weird because for a lot of people it's the opposite,
Hmm.
but it's really good for my mental health. I feel a lot better about myself. I feel more proud of what I've done,
Hmm.
and streaming makes me feel good about who I am.
Really?
And yeah, it really genuinely does. And I know for a lot of people it's the opposite. I know for a lot of people, streaming is tough on their mental health because of the pressures, because of the constant need to simultaneously innovate but still also stay the same for your current audience, because of the need
Yeah.
to constantly be networking while at the same time as making sure you're appealing to your base. There's a dozen reasons that are completely valid, and I completely understand why people can get that. But I haven't had any burnout despite going for like I said, almost 2 years for 5 nights a week, because for me it makes me feel better about myself and it makes me feel more proud of the content that I've made.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Sapphire has redeemed the cursed Ara. I'm sorry, Jade. Any mental trauma you suffer from this, I'm not liable for, so here we go. Ada, ada. Ada, ada. Ada, ada. There you go, Sapphire. Hope you're happy.
See, well, keep in mind, any redeems I have to do too.
Oh shit. Oh dear.
But that was the agreement,
So you
right?
have to do a
So
cursed Ara then.
I was expecting to have to go ada ada, but apparently I have to go ada ada.
Like, how would a kobold do it?
Ada ada. No, well, I mean, ada ada. There you go. There's the...
Oh god. I have my cursed RR redeemed for 666 channel points. That's funny. I'm funny. Basically, I just did
I
the...
will say
Sorry, what?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was like... I just thought of, like, how terrible would a penguin sound if they're doing RR, and then that's what I come up with.
Perfection. I will say, though, that YouTube did recently institute clips.
Oh, really?
Which is great. Yeah,
Oh.
you can clip. Just straight up on YouTube, there's a clip button now.
Oh.
I had to hit a certain threshold. Like they just didn't exist until I hit 1,200 followers.
Oh, really?
They didn't exist until I hit that threshold. So I think there is some gating on it, but
Okay.
I know that it was still a fairly fresh rollout. But yeah,
that was something I was going to look into. Is like, can I go back to the VODs I put up and make clips out of those? Huh. But you'd have to be at a certain follow
on YouTube. Yeah, you can actually always do that on YouTube. On YouTube, you can go into YouTube Studio and make a clip out of any part of your past uploads.
Okay. Okay. Good. Because like,
I mean, community clipping.
I'm assuming you know how Twitch works, where you stream and then it keeps your VOD up for a certain amount of time before it goes away.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that sucks about Twitch. I like that YouTube just keeps it there forever, basically.
Yeah, it just literally immediately becomes a video the second you stop streaming, and I love that.
That's pretty handy. I like that. As a content creator, I feel it's very important to keep all of your content available all the time. So that sure helps a lot. Jeez. Okay. So, yeah, I enjoy... I've never been a social butterfly, IRL. I've had like a very... I'm the type that has a very small but close circle of friends. And VTubing has helped me... They helped me branch out. It's really nice to meet people from all over the freaking world. Even though time zones are a pain in the butt, it is really nice to meet all kinds of different people from all kinds of different... But yeah.
I'm still waiting for a scientist to subscribe to me from Antarctica, because otherwise I've got all the other continents covered.
Wow. Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. I have actually a lot of people who are in Australia and New Zealand follow me, and several people in Sweden. For some reason, like Sweden specifically, actually have a very large base from.
Oh wow.
And
interesting.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I have a very international Discord. We have people, like, my Discord is active at all hours.
Oh wow. That is neat. That is awesome. I like that. I like just becoming close to people from certain different countries and continents. Knowing somebody from Australia, I know somebody from Spain, I know somebody from the UK, I know somebody from I interviewed someone from Africa, I've interviewed someone from was it I think someone from the Philippines one. Wow, it was a lot of people, different countries. It's interesting seeing all of us come together in VTubing from all over the world. Yeah, that's probably been one of my favorite aspects so far. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So, next
But
question.
well, again, the fact that that my VODs are still very watchable encourages a more international audience.
Indeed.
That's not nothing.
On to the
Oh,
toughest question.
hold on. I got a funny story for you first.
Okay, go ahead.
When I was just starting out, when I don't think I had broken 300 yet.
Mhm.
I got invited to play Among Us, and I was
Oh.
like, yeah, sure. What time is it? And they were like, 8 p.m. And everybody works in Pacific time, as for in my experience. So obviously that was right.
Oh.
I forgot to check the time zone.
Oh dear.
Uh, they
Oh
were in
no.
somewhere in Asia. I want to say no. I forget it where. They were on the other side of the planet. I think it might have been Singapore. I don't remember.
Oh
But
god.
anyways, I ended and I felt compelled because these are a bunch of cool people who I wanted to get to know. I didn't want to like. I was the 10th person. I didn't want to dip out and leave them, short, a slot at the last hour.
Mhm.
So I ended up streaming and waking myself up and streaming at like 4 in the morning.
Oh god. Oh god.
Because I had agreed to. I'm like, no, we can do this.
Oh no. Oh, I've had the opposite happen to me actually. Oh goodness.
Oh,
I've been doing these interviews for a while, and when I first started them up,
Mhm.
I wasn't as good about discussing time zones with people. Sometimes like I'll tell them what the time zone is, and then they'll look it up on the internet and get it wrong. So, but now I'm more like, okay, we're doing this in so and so hours, and now I do that now. But I was talking to the friend that I know in Spain, and I told her. So since she's in Spain, she's GMT, I believe it was. So I said, what is it like? What did I say? I think it was Saturday morning. Yes. But I forget it was Saturday. No, I think it was Saturday afternoon. And we were discussing the time zone, and she got the time wrong. But then like she thought it was gonna be whatchamacallit? I forget exactly. I forget if it was supposed to be morning for her or nighttime for her when she thought it was gonna be, but she got it wrong. So she just stayed up really late to make the time that we agreed on instead of telling me that the time was wrong. So it was like super late where she was. And I'm like, oh my god, I had no idea that we got the time zone so fucked up. So she stayed up till like 4 o'clock in the morning her time to do the interview with me when it was like normal hours for me. Goodness. Time zones are the ultimate enemy of VTuber.
True.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, now we're on to the toughest question, I feel. What unique quality do you think you bring to the table as a VTuber? What do you think people know you for?
I think I've covered this pretty well, actually.
Yes.
I think we sort of inadvertently covered this very well.
Yes.
I have a background in acting and game design, and game design stuff. Being able to talk about that is, I find it interesting to talk about, and people have been really enjoying listening to that. And that's something that you don't get from a lot of other VTubers. I have the experience in the industry of both gaming and anime, frankly, and acting. So like I have the experience and stories to make my streams more interesting and to make me more interesting as a streamer, because I can, talk about things.
You have a lot of experience and things to talk about in relevant topics that viewers are familiar with while they watch you stream.
I mean, just to go back on this stream and look at how we ended how we started talking about Pokemon,
yes,
and just how interesting and engaging that conversation was for like a literal hour for literally half of the runtime at time of speaking of this interview, because I just had a lot to say, and I enjoy saying words sometimes.
I'm glad you enlightened me on Game Freak, because I was really miffed with them. But
that's what's unique about me. But that's what's unique about me. Like, I have this background, I have this these stories to tell, and I have this insight that I think you wouldn't necessarily get from a lot of other VTubers.
Well, a lot of VTubers are on the younger side, and they probably haven't had
True, and
nearly
I
as much
am not.
experience. Like you get on from people in high school to like 21. It's probably the average around there, I think. And then I'm like, okay, I start sweating. I'm like, yeah, I grew up in the 90s, but yeah. But
Back in
so
my day.
they probably don't have a lot of the same knowledge. So you can enlighten
Yeah.
a lot of people.
Mhm,
So
mhm, mhm.
yeah. Definitely. I'm sure people love having conversations during your streams with you
Yeah, and I enjoy it too.
about all kinds of topics, I imagine.
And I actually have helped out with a couple of game jams.
Mm,
Are you familiar with the Godot game engine?
no.
Okay, it's another engine similar to Unity. I don't even. Okay, anyways, um, I helped run and organize one of the largest Godot game jams that has ever existed. So as a part of that, I had a whole bunch of streams specifically about game design and development. I had, and then after all the submissions were done, I was one of the judges, and I did all of the judging publicly.
Mm,
All of the judging I did live on stream, many times with the developers who made that game in chat as I was giving it reviews and backstories, and that was a really wonderful event, all culminating in a 24-hour stream, which is something
ooh.
I've done 3 of now, haven't I?
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
We discussed this actually.
Although, yeah.
I can't make it 24
Although the
hours
last 24-hour stream, yeah, I cut at 23 hours, 59 minutes and 55 seconds,
just to be funny, huh?
just for the bit.
I gypped you on 1 second. Suck it, nerds.
just as a bit. I mean, it was like, oh, it doesn't count. You have to do another one. It's like, yeah, that's fair.
Imagine, because so they had some people will have redeems to end their stream for a certain amount of points,
Mhm.
and somebody redeems
Mhm.
that at like the last second.
Nice.
That'd be funny. But yeah.
I would just do redeems to extend the stream. Oh, we stretching.
Oh, save my spine. There we go. It needed that.
Yay! Now I'm healthy.
Yeah, now I'll live another 2 minutes or something. I don't know. But
Hooray!
yay! Most people they'll do subathons where if they get a number, like each sub will extend the stream a certain amount of time, and then they'll cap it at a certain amount of hours. I wouldn't do that because like I just end at the earliest time. I mean, and I don't expect tons of subs for my content, but some people do.
Although I will say that it's easier. People are more likely to subscribe on YouTube than join or to subscribe on Twitch than join a YouTube membership, despite it being the same thing. It seems like It seems like subs are easier to convince people to do.
Well, I think it depends on the amount of ads people get. Well, actually, ads are probably very similar on the amount of ads you have to watch are probably very similar on Twitch and YouTube.
Yeah, plus on YouTube you have
they'll randomly put ad breaks, right?
Probably. Probably.
Yeah, they've been doing more ads on Twitch lately, and it kind of sucks because someone will be talking to you, and then mid like question, like somebody types something and asks something, they'll get stuck with an ad, and they'll miss what your answer is. That's something I hate.
Oh, you should have subbed then, huh? Next time you're gonna sub, what if you deal with that?
I try not to be like that, but you know, that is probably the best incentive to sub. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Do people just feel like they don't want to pay money on YouTube because they're used to it being a free service, or?
I genuinely don't know. I think it's just because the culture of YouTube is I'm going to sub to this content creator, whereas on YouTube it's less normalized, right? I think it might just be as simple as that.
Because like
it's less normalized.
I remember when they came out with YouTube Red or whatever, the subscription, everybody's like, screw that, I'm not paying for this. Like they're used to YouTube being free. So it might, if I had to guess, it'd be something like that. Whereas Twitch has normalized the idea of subscribing. I don't know. That's interesting to think about. Huh. Are they more likely to super chat then, where they give direct donations?
Yes, super chats are much more common than memberships.
Oh yes,
which is great. I'm very happy with super chat system. I really am.
That's something we should bring up as a revenue split, I believe. YouTube does what, 30/70?
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, Twitch is 50/50. Unless you go
Here's
partner.
the thing, though. Here's the thing, though. On YouTube, your money doesn't go to Jeff Bezos. That alone, I think, is worth it. That alone.
Honestly, I've just given up and been like, you know what? He's gonna just take over the flipping world. Whatever. I don't care anymore. I've kind of given up on resisting Jeff Bezos. He's gonna
never stop resisting, comrade.
he's gonna take over the entire world. I give up. I don't know. The more money you have, the easier it is to get more. So it's like, can we even stop him? I don't know. Maybe it's too late.
How quickly do you want to get your stream demonetized?
Okay, we'll discuss this off stream. I wonder. Oh man, if just Bezos came in here, he'd be like, "I heard you talking smack about me."
Oh my gosh, what if though, right?
And I'm like, "No, I did not say you wear a toupee, Jeff Bezos. No, please, Daddy, don't. No." But yeah, interesting.
Here, I'm going to send you something on the Discord, and you can decide if you want to put that on screen or not.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
How's chat doing? You guys having a good time?
Oh goodness. Oh goodness. I'll leave that in the Discord.
Okay.
All right. Let me see here.
This is my hot take generator moment.
Hot take. All right. Lastly, is there anything else you would like to tell the audience about yourself that you haven't said already?
Oh, hi. Go subscribe on YouTube. It costs you nothing, and that's one thing I also say. Like when some people who are coming from Twitch, when they say I tell them to subscribe on YouTube, they don't make the connection that subscribe on YouTube is the same thing as following on Twitch.
Yes, and honestly, I kind of like how Twitch words it better. When I think subscribe, I think money.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
So go follow me on the YouTubes.
Yeah, that's a better way to put it. Here you go. You can check out Jade here. There's their YouTube.
I do things occasionally.
Yeah,
I do things quite quickly.
It's like
actually.
sometimes I stream, sometimes I'm funny.
Look, I'm just me, and I hope that's good enough. That's really what it boils down.
Mention your community, Jade,
Yeah.
said Sapphire.
So my Discord is not like most VTuber Discords. It's easy to opt out of the notification role, and in general, the Discord is not about me, which is important, right? The Discord is a Discord where people who want to hang out, post cat memes, and just chill to be.
Yeah.
I am not the center point of my own Discord, and I like that because it's not a place where it's only it's not the Jade Discord about Jade the Kobold, where Jade the Kobold information is available to people who like Jade the Kobold. It's a Discord for anybody who wants to come in and relax. We have one of the mods from the Wholesome Meme server is in there. We have a lot of people, a lot more people are active in the Discord than are active in on my channel, which is fine because it's just a cool, chill place to relax.
Yeah, very much so. You don't want to be idolized in your Discord, is what you're saying.
I don't need to be. When people make, like, I think that's a better way of phrasing it, because when people make a Discord all about themselves, then if you're not making your community about anything else, then you need to be idolizing that VTuber to participate in that Discord, right? You need to be focusing on the Discord because that's all that Discord exists for. So it's not that I don't want to be idolized. I mean, I am still a content creator, but it's that I don't need to be idolized for people to enjoy my Discord server.
Yeah. You enjoy the idea of a community rather than like fanboys or something, like a cult for yourself or something like that. Some Discords are like that. Yeah.
Say no to fanboys. I mean, I'm.
Well, you're not going to say no to like new people to the community who just enjoy you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or who don't enjoy me, who just want to be part of that community, right?
Oh gosh, I guess I am idolizing myself in my server. Because my my lore is weird. I'm a Lovecraftian penguin who survived this horrible trek through a frozen abyss, got attacked by a Lovecraftian monster. When I made it out the other side, I decided to close up the abyss with the amusement park. And my kingdom per se is called Glacierland, an amusement park with like a castle in it and like ride stuff. It's very weird. So I just wanted to use I used my Discord server as like kind of like a home base for that. And I have if you ever take a look at my Discord, like all the channels are named after like places in that amusement park. I tried to do like lore building with mine, I guess.
You're doing the whole lore thing. Okay.
Yes. And I guess I am idolizing myself in a way because like there's gonna be a big statue of myself in that. I'm gonna get art done, a map for the amusement park done some point. There's just like a big statue of me in there, I guess. But I just like
nothing wrong with that, right?
it has to do with the fact that when I was a kid, I loved Disneyland. I loved just the visuals when I was a kid at nighttime when they have the parades going and all the music and lights. I love that.
I could talk down. I could talk about the world design in Disney World and how much both it draws from and supplies to game development, because there's a lot of similar principles at play in the way they design those worlds.
Oh, really? Huh.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they've had their hand in a lot of video games over the years.
Oh, I don't know. I mean the actual parks themselves.
Huh.
I mean, like the way they design the park so that your sight lines don't bleed into other park areas when you're in one area. To make sure that the visual language of the area is distinct, even though you might be right next to a completely different area with a different visual aesthetic and art style in everything. You have the 1950s areas, and then you have like the Star Wars areas or the Avatar. I don't know. That sounds right. And areas, and they are so distinct and different, but you'll never know it until you walk into them because the world is so tightly designed.
Yeah,
I kind of talked about it on the Ferality stream when I was talking about world designs. But you just do you can do a lot of research on that. It's fascinating.
So they have the themed areas are similar to what you see in a video game, huh?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And the way that they're designed to be walked is very similar to the way that game developers will design areas for people to freely explore them, but ensure that no matter how the player explores them, that they will find interesting things. And that's really important and overlooked by a lot of people, frankly. If you ask 5 people who played Elden Ring what the first boss they beat was, you will get 5 different answers.
This is open world, right? There's lots of choices.
There's a lot of choices, but at the same time, there's also a very clear direction and very clear pathing on signposting on where you're supposed to go. But at the same time, you have the freedom to find it, but you're also guaranteed to find something interesting on that path.
Interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting.
And to clarify, there's nothing wrong with having a VTuber Discord that's about the VTuber. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I just like to explain the difference in mine, because you don't have to watch me to join my Discord. It's just a cool place. Yeah, I just feel like that's worth noting.
I feel like the Discord is a special place for your community in general, as opposed to like Twitter, where it's like everybody. So it's like, I feel like in your Discord, you'll find people who are closer to you specifically. I feel like if you make announcements there, it'll matter more than on Twitter or some other site.
Exactly.
Discords are supposed to be for a community, period. But you welcome anybody, no matter what.
Yeah. It's just a cool place to hang out. We have a vibrant RP community.
Oh,
honestly.
really? Oh, wow. I used to do that in high school. It's as a teenage penguin.
Nice. Awesome.
Playing Club Penguin.
We have somebody who I don't think has actually ever watched one of my streams literally mentioned how they're always looking in our memes channel because we have the best memes.
Oh, wow. That's nifty.
We have comfy vibes with cute cat pictures and soft music. We have an uncomfy vibes which has delightfully cursed things.
Oh, I got a channel like that called Horrorland. Lots
Oh,
of spooky
it's not.
stuff.
Oh no, I'm talking like pineapple on pizza and so a
Oh,
kids running into walls, sort of uncomfy. It's still a memes channel at the end of the
oh,
day.
okay, okay,
But it's
okay.
kind of thing you go, oh, kind of instead it's the Pilk channel if you, for a while it was.
Oh no. Okay, Horrorland is much worse. It's like, oh god, see stuff in there like Jesus. But that's funny.
Nah, it's more like the Pilk and the end and
Yes.
someone looking at the those little soy sauce containers you get at Chinese restaurants
Hmm?
and saying, "Man, these freezer pops are terrible."
Oh god. Or take a jar of mayonnaise, empty it, and put vanilla pudding in it, and just like eat spoonfuls of it in
Oh,
public. I want to do that. I want to do that.
oh, that's amazing.
Oh no, no, no! Just walk around like crazy. Interesting.
But yeah, stuff like that.
All right. At the end, the last thing I like to do is audience questions. Yay, audience questions.
Hello,
Does anybody
audience. You've been so wonderful and patient with us.
if anybody has anything they want to ask me or Jade, now is your time. Or forever hold your peace or whatever. Or just DM us, whatever, I don't care. Now is your
Well,
chance
no, no,
for
no.
on stream.
No, you can't ask them to DM it. No, you have to ask them to either tweet at you or leave a comment on the video, because if they DM you, it doesn't count as engagement, right?
I guess not. It's
If,
not
if they
public
DM
and
you,
people
it
can't
doesn't.
see it.
Exactly.
I don't care if people. I actually like it if people DM me. I kind of prefer it because I feel like it's more.
Honestly, I do too, but I'm still gonna meme on the
Oh,
on the
okay,
channel.
okay. Like I would make tweets about like who wants to collab, right? And then people just like the tweet. They don't say anything. Like I'll say like DM me or comment, and they won't do it. They just like it. I'm like, you guys want to collab, or is that just like you just putting a like for shits and giggles? I don't get it.
So is that a yes?
I'm like, I would get really confused, and I'm like actually kind of annoyed because like, is it that hard to send DMs? People are like so afraid to do it. That's something I don't like personally.
I get it. As somebody who is generally an introvert, that actually does make sense to me. Like, honestly, I reach out to people for the same reason that I tank in MMOs. It's not that I enjoy tanking. It's that I've been in enough situations where if I'm not the one tanking, then it's not going to be done well, right? I send that's the same reason that I send DMs to people and messages to people, because I know that people will want that to happen and will be too concerned or too afraid or too nervous to do it, and it's like, sure, I'm willing to do it because it might turn into something wonderful, like this. You're
willing
wonderful,
to take chances,
and I appreciate you.
Aw, thank you. Or were you talking to me or just like a hypothetical?
I was talking to you.
Oh, aw.
And a chat.
Aw.
And everyone.
Oh,
but also you.
That's very sweet. That's very sweet of Jade to say. Isn't that sweet, audience? Yeah.
Aww.
Let's see. Ask it live. Thoughts on Jade's cuteness? Those eyes, man. They're a lot cuter than mine. Although it's not really a contest.
It's not a contest, but if it was, I'd be winning.
Pretty much, in terms of cute eyes, you sure. Some people might like big eyes. Huh?
You have a whole other half to your avatar that you're not showing right now, right?
No, actually, I need to get a reference sheet done. A full reference sheet. I've only got this art from the original artist who did it. I'm in the process of getting a full reference sheet done soon, so that would change.
I thought you had the penguin girl.
I'm sorry?
I thought you had the penguin girl.
Oh yeah, she's a different OC. I have two
OCs.
OCs.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to.
She's like she's my personal attendant, I call her, or royal attendant. She helps me with stuff and like makes sure I don't screw around too much on streams. If you look at my streams, well, on the games that are less PC intensive, I'll have her Void running. She'll be there just supervising me basically. She doesn't talk.
Right.
She doesn't talk. I do all the talking. She's kind of shy.
I'm just saying that there's more to your model than the
Yes.
PNG you have now for that. Yeah.
Yes, and people who followed me for a while might have seen my spooky form. It's not that pleasant.
Fair.
Because people notice, like, so, like, your skin's kind of loose. Is there something underneath that you're hiding? And I'm like, you'll see later.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Oh God, who's cuter? What the heck? Why did you start this? Who start this poll? Kitten? Did you do that? Someone started a poll. Who's cuter? Penguin, Sprig, or Kitten? Sprig? Who's Sprig? Oh, Kobold Sprig. What? What the? I thought you. Why are you comparing me to Sprig? What? I'm gonna vote for myself because I'm terrible. Why is I don't understand why Jade's not on here, but okay. Is it just no contest if Jade's in there? Jade just wins.
There we go. Yeah, let's assume that. Sure.
All right. Sprig asks, "What is your one sentence advice to start as an amateur action game designer, Jade?"
Amateur actor / game designer. I would
One sentence.
say network. I'm going to siphon it down to one word: network. There's a lot of skills that you can build. I'm going to elaborate with many sentences, of course, but the one word answer is network. There are many skills that you can develop and learn and improve on for your work, to get better at development, to get better at game balancing, which is always a struggle, to get to work through some various, to become a better actor. You can practice your line reads and so on, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But networking is really, really important, especially in the games industry. Who you know and what and who you can get in to work with you means a lot, right? It really does. And finding places to network is just a good idea in general, right? Helps you grow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, same in show business, same in VTubing, streaming, networking. A lot of it is knowing people.
Anything with a public face, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, helps get your foot in the door, definitely. Helps a lot. Oh? Who's cuter? Who's winning? Apparently, I'm winning. Wow. Okay.
Congratulations. You've earned it.
Okay. Actually, me and a friend of mine, so I do discuss this. I don't know if you want to discuss it, but like how people say like VTubers or waifus dominate VTubing, right? And then I come in here and I'm like, well, technically I'm a mascot VTuber. And then me and my friend Space June would argue who's cuter. And I'm like, well, I mean, I would argue that Space June's more on the titillating side, the sexy side, where I am on the cuter side. We actually had a poll who's cuter, and I was winning at first, but then she just beat me in the poll last day. And I'm like, what the heck? I guess waifus just dominate, whatever. I was like kind of mad about it. Because people tell me I'm cute all the time, even though I don't think I'm quite that cute in my eyes. You know, a little bit traumatized, you know? But, I don't know. So this poll's interesting. It's like reflects that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wait, why am I on there? I don't know why Kitten's on there either. Index has put you on there.
A lot of people here probably don't know who Sprig.
Well, my apologies, Sprig. I forgot your full name. My apologies. Would you like very round digital painting of Jade and Penguinato plushies sitting by a mic? Of course I would.
That'd be adorable.
That would be amazing. I would use that as a banner. Heck.
That
would be amazing. Sapphire's an artist, I believe they mentioned. Yeah. I love meeting artists. Dude, artists are amazing in this community. I'm blown away by the talent of some of these people.
Welcome, Raiders. Come
Absolutely.
on, come on.
Another
and enjoy the
raid.
show.
Yo!
Sanctum Verbs. How you doing, buddy? How's your stream? Welcome Raiders.
Raider.
I am the
Raider.
Ice Emperor Penguinato. Today I'm your host, and I have special guest star Jade the Kobold here with me.
Hi, I'm Jade the Kobold. One time I found a beetle and I ate it.
The end.
That's my story.
Okay. Welcome. We're doing a podcast here with Jade the Kobold. They're a very interesting VTuber. Lots of experience in game development and acting. Here is their YouTube if y'all want to check them out.
They do
Yeah,
things.
yeah. But welcome. We're doing audience questions at the moment. If anybody wants to ask anything about me or Jade, go right ahead.
They're just kind of vibing at this point, right?
Yeah. What did it taste like? Asked Saint to Burbs.
Not much, honestly. It just was like a crunch, and then I don't know, just protein. Just like I don't want to say it tastes like chicken, but it's true.
Goodness, I won the poll.
Congratulations.
Oh wow. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Has Jade ever had an isopod? Asked Sapphire.
No.
Okay. How was Destiny 2, Burbs? Everybody check out Burbs. He's good people. Very good people.
Oh,
Anybody who likes Burbs is good people, obviously.
clearly.
No, I was trying to vote for Kitten and ended. Rip. Oh, sorry. Walk to the end.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yo, so people give some love for Kitten, who got 0 votes in that poll. Seriously. I want to see chat giving some support to them.
I have a hug command, actually.
You heard that. Go on, chat.
Everybody give Kitten a hug. Exclamation point hug. There you go. I was grinding my nuts off Iron Banner, and I was kind of fragging. Oh, goodness. Destiny, that's one of those FPS MOBA things, right? Or battle arenas?
Yeah.
We were talking about
It's
that,
like,
actually.
It's an MMO-ish. It has an MMO structuring in it.
So, like, there's statistics and stuff for your guns and character and stuff, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. I would never be able to play those. Those are too deep for me. I already suck at FPS. Goodness. Not really MOBA, but it was PvP. Okay. You guys got some crazy good reflexes to play those games, man. Heck.
Yeah.
All about the reflexes, definitely.
I used to play Counter-Strike competitively a very long time ago.
Oh, heck. Awesome. I just like to play single-player games because I don't like playing with other people. I hate other people. I saw a meme about that. It was funny. I play mostly single-player games, personally.
To be fair, other people are scary.
Yeah, they can be.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why my circle is so small.
But yeah, I prefer. I have reached the point in my life where I just prefer to have a complete experience that has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Right? If you play Destiny or Valorant or Dota, and I've put my hours in all those. Well, not really Destiny, but MMOs I have, and mostly Final Fantasy. There's never an end, right? There's never a real satisfying end to your gameplay.
Yeah.
Because you always will have more.
Yes.
Which is the treadmill aspect, which isn't necessarily bad, and that can be fun, but I now would rather have a good experience that has a beginning, a middle, and an end to it. Like playing through Prey or playing through a Final Fantasy game where there's a complete experience there to be had. And I mean, I still do enjoy stuff like that. I actually was playing Monster Train literally up until the point where I started the call, which is
nice. Nice.
But at the same time, it's that kind of experience is more valuable to me now than it used to be.
So that's since you have your game development experience, the industry has really been heading towards multiplayer games, huh? Because of the aspects of loot boxes and stuff like that, or like they don't. It's cheaper to make those gameplay modes, isn't it, than a single player campaign?
I'll say yes to that one, but I was going to say no to the other ones.
Okay.
What was it? 2 years ago, I want to say. One of the EA executives said that first single-player games were going to die because multiplayer games were the future of gaming in the industry. That same year, 5 of the top 5 Metacritic rated games of the year, and 7 of the top 10 Metacritic rated games that launched that year were all single-player experiences. That what you're saying right there is functionally propaganda, to be blunt. That is actually just not true, but it is that people are trying to make people think is true because they are making those games. So people who say that, even if they don't mean to, like I'm not saying that you're actually, secretly a EA exec or something,
No, no.
but people who say that are indirectly parroting talking points from from EA execs, from people who are trying to spread that idea and
Mm.
make that the gaming culture.
They would want that future, definitely.
It would,
That's what they
but
want.
pretty consistently, you have your Gods of War, you have your Personas, you have your Breath of the Wilds, you have your Elden
Mm-hmm.
Rings. Like consistently, the highest rated games and most respected games end up being the single player experiences. And some of those games do have DLC or microtransactions, which are like either DLC or expansions. Like Monster Hunter
Mm-hmm.
famously has both of those, but they are yeah, they will always have existed and always will exist. And the idea that they are somehow becoming more passe is simply not true.
That's very
Although I
true.
do agree, Greg, also want more co-op games. I really would love another good co-op RPG, because Divinity and Divinity 2 are some of the greatest games ever made.
There's a lot of games, I think starting in the PS3 generation or so, we started to see more co-op campaigns, which I was really happy
Yeah,
about. Like
mhm.
that it's like a single play experience you experience with another person. So that
Yeah,
that makes yeah.
it's a story you get to share.
I do in terms of multiplayer games, I think I'm more fan of cooperative multiplayer versus like PvP because I don't
Mhm.
know. I'm not
Same.
very quick on the draw. I'll say that. I don't know, but
You know what game actually had a really, really good asymmetric co-op?
hmm,
Sniper Elite.
hmm,
Because
really,
Sniper Elite is a sniping game, which is fantastic. I actually really like sniping games because they're not actually first-person shooters. They are puzzle games.
hmm,
They are here's a dozen enemies watching various angles. How can you kill all of them without raising an alarm? How can you do it silently? Like, it's actually a lot of fun. But um they have a co-op version in their option in their game where you can play, one person is the sniper and the other person is the spotter, and you have different jobs and you're constantly talking with each other, and it works really well.
hmm, hmm. Oh, I have that on my Steam, I believe. I need to check that
I
out.
recommend I think 4 and 5 both have those multiplayer options.
Oh, oh crap! I'm gonna do some more shameless promoting real quick. I've been
Sure.
buying all the Humble Bundles for the past I don't know how many years, so I have a
Mhm.
ridiculous surplus of Steam codes that I give away to people that watch me. I have a couple. I have a spin the wheel redeem. You might get one. I also have just a redeem to pick a code from my list. I want to get rid of them, but I'd like to give it away to my community. So anybody that wants to stick
Mhm.
around, yeah, shameless promotion.
Mhm. No, that's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, Humble Bundles are
Sapphire says
amazing.
it's a shame. Sapphire says it's a shame that most sniping games are on the PC, though, and I think that that's natural. I think that's to be expected, because games on the PC are always going are going to be always going to be using mouse and keyboard, and mouse and
Yes.
keyboard is more precise movement, like we were talking about earlier. And a sniping game requires that precision. A sniping game must have the precision of a mouse to really be able to accurately do the thing the game is asking you to do. You know what I'm saying?
Aimlessly promoting the list of games I have available. But no, I have way too many, honestly. Please come redeem them, people. But yes. Anyway, co-op games, yes, excellent.
Mm-hmm.
But even if single player games die in the AAA sphere, indie will always keep it alive. And it's really great
True.
how I'm really impressed with how far indie games have come, if I'm being honest.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see them becoming like the best games of the year now. Stuff like that.
Well, the reason is that the barrier to entry is a lot lower. Like, making a entire game now takes about the amount of skill that was required to make a mod back in the 90s, right?
Yeah,
Like, anybody can fire up Unity and learn it. It's actually not that bad. You don't have to learn how to code in assembly to make a NES game, right?
right.
So the barrier is so much lower because mostly of Unity and Godot. Like those are actually the two reasons for it primarily. But because that barrier is lower, people can create their visions. And
Yes.
I don't think it's a hot take to say that people have some incredible visions. And when you're not restrained by a AAA backing, you can explore your vision unrestrained.
Yes. That, and I love how indie developers keep old genres alive, like Metroidvanias, that are really not seen that much anymore by AAA devs.
True, true. Have you seen what was it called? Wonder Labyrinth?
No, I don't believe so.
Record of the Lotus War, Wonder Labyrinth.
Oh,
It is
I've seen the anime Record of Lodoss War, yes.
yes, it's a game that came out within the past couple of years as a Metroidvania,
Ah,
based off of Record of the Lotus War, where you play as Deedlit.
I
It's
did
really, really good.
I have not heard of this game, but that sounds like right up my alley. Holy shit. I love Record of Lodoss War.
Best Metroidvania I've played in recent times, other than Dread, because Dread was actually phenomenal.
Oh yeah. Another game that I don't have. So many games I have that I've never had the time to play that I want to. I hate work.
Fair though.
I hate full-time work. I want to be full-time gamer instead. Ugh.
Time to yell at capitalism again.
Yeah. Jeff Bezos, you jerk. I'm just kidding.
Bezos!
Very good game.
Bezos, your
Yeah.
time will come.
Oh goodness.
Sorry.
I think the only one that can beat him is Elon Musk. But then he's not really any better, is he?
No, Elon Musk is an idiot. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to any Elon Musk boys in the audience right now, but Elon Musk is an idiot.
Oh shit. He's like watching, he's like, hey, what did you say?
Yo, call yourself out if you're in chat right now.
Don't you mean your prime will come? Oh goodness.
There you
Burbs.
go. There you
Oh god. Burbs, what have you done? What have you done, Burbs? Oh goodness.
No, I look. All I'm saying is that we live in a time where it's possible to build an RGB gamer LED guillotine. That's all I'm saying. I'm not suggesting anything. We have the technology. That's all.
Oh god, I want to see that.
I'll send you pictures.
Oh, goodness, someone's made one?
No, someone put that into that Dolly
Oh, that
image.
thing. Okay.
Also, that someone did one for a lo-fi guillotine execution to relax and behead to. It's just like the greatest image I've ever seen in my life.
Oh good lord. Oh goodness. Oh my. Penguinato, have you ever played What Remains of Edith Finch? Oh, I've heard the name. Is it a spooky game? It sounds like a horror game. Is it? Enlighten me, please. I've been slacking on my horror games lately. I need to get back on that.
Mm-hmm. You know what's another genre that indie games have done a good job keeping alive? Adventure games. Because the AAA space doesn't know how to make an adventure game anymore.
You mean like 3D platformers?
No, I mean the classic adventure games, your Monkey Islands and your Looms.
The point and click games?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, huh? I don't think those are AAA titles anymore, huh?
That AAA hasn't been able to AAA hasn't spent the time or effort to make one in a very long time.
Like that's one
Outside
Little Misfortune was the recent one I played, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
you know what you should play? I'm going to challenge you to play a game.
Okay.
It's only a couple nickels on Steam, but it is a Lovecraftian inspired game.
Okay.
With a good storyline.
Okay.
That will be a very different style of adventure game than you've ever played before.
Huh. Okay.
It's called The Ghosts of Maple Creek. I actually plan on streaming it within the next as one of the next games I'm going to play myself. But
Enigmatic: The Ghosts of Maple.
Enigmatis, yep, that's the one.
That is $10 on Steam.
If I may ask, Jay, did you play Indivisible Ooh, boy, did I. I streamed it, and I made my opinion very loud on that one. um, the game needed more time in the oven. The
Indivisible?
game,
That's the RPG
yeah,
one.
yes. In short, yes.
Hmm.
Um, I don't remember specifically all of the drama. I don't remember actually what sparked the studio dissolve. It dissolved, right? I'm pretty
Oh,
sure it
did
dissolved.
it?
I I think. Yeah. Okay, I just looked it up, and they did in fact dissolve. In
Wow, that sucks.
Yep, yeah, the game is still available for purchase, and the final update was pushed to the Switch. But yeah, they ain't around no more.
The art looked
Uh,
amazing for that game. I love the art. I never got to play it though. I heard good things. Oh, that's
the
not good.
game was unfinished.
Oof. Ouch.
The game was very visibly unfinished, and not in the ways you'd expect, right?
Huh.
When people think about unfinished games, they think about texture maps that aren't done, or they think about, like, bugs or glitches or errors, right? That's usually what people think about when they think of unfinished game. This was unfinished on a much deeper level. There were core mechanics of the game that were not fully fleshed out. There were enemies that were not using attacks that enemies of that type were clearly supposed to have. There were
Hmm.
enemies. There was one enemy type that, no matter where you faced it in the game, was at the wrong level. No matter where you faced it in the game, it was 10 levels higher than it should have been for where the area that you were level expected to be in that game. Every single
Huh.
time you saw that enemy, you said, "Oh no!" And that's just purely a game balance issue. They didn't scale that enemy's HP and attack damage with the levels, which is a baseline game development, balancing thing
Well,
that
that'll piss off
should
players real
have
easy,
been
yeah.
done. Yeah. So my complaint, like, the game is gorgeous. The artwork
Yes.
is incredible.
Hmm.
The artwork is stunning. The animation is really, really good. It's crisp. It's clean. The engine is doing its best. It made an RPG out of a fighting game engine, and it shows. The engine does not have a good inventory system. Not meaningfully. The inventory system is very. I've made better inventory systems like that in a weekend, and than that what they have on theirs. And like, from a game design, the core design of the game itself is just not done. And it's a shame, because it could have been something really special, really beautiful, and really unique if it got an extra couple months in the oven. If they had the funding, I'm assuming it was because of funding. If they had the funding,
It was a Kickstarter game, right?
Indiegogo, it looks like. I'm skimming the Wikipedia page now just to see if I could see more information about the actual dissolution. But yeah, but yeah, it was a game that could have been much better. It's
Hmm.
not a bad game, but if you play it, you'll see a lot of little things that feel like they weren't handled well. If it and Yeah, there's so many things it does right that it makes it even more of a shame to play it and look at the things that were done wrong. If you want
Hmm.
my full opinions, I played through the entire game, and at the end, especially at the end, because so many things in the final two sequences, in the final 2 hours of gameplay, are more concepts than finished game that the game is making you do. And it's like, I love what what you were planning on doing. I would have loved to play the game that you were trying to make, but you did not.
Oh, wait. Can I answer a butt question? Like a what? Keep it clean, Michael.
Sure.
Keep it clean, Michael. Jade is not like not as crazy as VV by far. If it's something gross, don't ask it, actually. Anyway, Dang it. I have it on Steam, actually, Indivisible. I wanted to play it. That's a bummer.
It's worth playing. I will actually say that it is worth playing, but it's worth playing knowing this going in, right?
So if I
If
know
you,
that, will I have a better experience?
I
Or
think
be
you
more
will.
prepared, at least? For an enemy that
You'll
was
be
just...
more prepared, and I think you'll have a better experience because there is I think you'll have a better experience because you'll know what to look for, right? Rather than looking at the game that exists, you can look past it and see the game that the developers were trying to make. And once you see that, you will appreciate it more, I think,
Hmm.
because because you can see the game that they were trying to make. I
Yeah.
don't even think you don't even need to be a game developer to get there, right? You can see what they were trying to accomplish, and what they were trying to accomplish does stand on its own.
It did seem like it
And
had a lot of grand ambitions with that game. Like, they were shooting for
yeah,
the stars with some of it. Especially
and they
with the
just didn't
animation.
get up. Yeah, with the animation and the voice acting. The voice acting is incredible,
Do
actually.
you
Yeah,
think
voice acting is actually phenomenal. I love the voice acting.
do you
And
think the fact that they probably spent a lot on resources on those aspects that other parts were left lacking, per se?
I think the other parts might come down to a lack of experience because again, this is a RPG made by a fighting game studio.
Hmm.
I feel like there was stuff in there that if they had been more familiar with RPGs, they would have been able to hit some of those notes a bit more cleanly. You know, it's
Hmm.
one of those things where I'm going to just yell math at them for a while. I do in fact have a butt and a tail. It's true.
I'm like, I believe kobolds have butts, typically. I'm... Whatever, okay.
According to Twitter, they do.
Oh, goodness. According to Rule 34, I guess. Jesus. Good God.
Fortunately, kobolds are very wholesome, and it's actually you can't make any Rule 34 of a kobold. They're just entirely two wholesome creatures.
I will take your word for it.
Yeah, it's true.
Butt tail. Butt. Funny. Hey,
Butts.
Lois. Remember that time I became a VTuber?
Yeah, yeah, this is like that time I became a VTuber. Remember that?
You definitely brought a new perspective on the game. Shows how little I know about RPG games because I thought it was great.
The polish, well, like the visual polish was incredible. Like the visual polish, if you look at the game, it looks impeccable. It really does. But there's a lot of little nitpicks in there, about the balance, about the character, some of the character dynamics, about some of the game mechanics. That also half the game is not actually a JRPG. Half the game is a platformer, and the platforming elements are actually pretty cool.
Hmm.
Like, and then they have some Metroidvania elements on top of it too, because why not? And it requires some backtracking to get some collectibles because there's collectibles in it too. And it's like
Hmm.
they spread themselves thin.
Hmm. Oh,
But yeah, that
ooh,
go ahead.
I got a good question. Are you aware? Did you pay attention to Mighty Number 9?
Well, let me just finish one line on the other
Go
one.
right ahead.
And that's if you want my full opinions, I did a playthrough of it on my channel. If you go to my playlists, and you'll see exactly the point where I start to break down about my complaints about it, and by the end I am basically yelling at the game, and despite genuinely trying to have fun and calling out the parts that I enjoyed as well. So if you want my full experience on that, my full experience is available for that online.
Huh. That sounds like a good
And
clip
yeah,
compilation to make of like
probably, yeah.
grief with a certain game. Oh
And like
man.
we were talking about earlier, my style of VTubing does lend itself towards more engageable VODs than the
Yeah.
average VTuber.
Yeah, definitely. Makes
Mighty
you
Number 9 is hilarious, though.
just say what? Hilarious?
No, yeah. I'll let you finish with that. What were you saying? You were going to say something else?
I was reading. Makes you cry more than an anime fan on Prime Night. Oh goodness, the cringiest trailer ever.
The
Right there.
worst.
Good God.
The worst part is I think that trailer was done in-house, wasn't it? Didn't they make that trailer?
I think the localizing team did. Silver,
Look,
whatever the hell it was. Silver Cook.
Silver.
Big Silver. I forget the name of it. Something to do with silver. I think
Wait,
they did it.
was that? Hold on, no shot. Hold
Inti
on.
Inti creates the president was like, what the fuck is this? Why did you guys make
Hold on.
this?
It's
I think it was silver something.
it was Deep Silver. You're right.
Yes, they made it, I
That,
believe. And then
that
Inti creates the president was like, what the hell is this shit? You guys are dumb. He was like pretty upset with it.
that was Deep Silver. I forgot.
Are they kind of notorious for dumb shit or what?
No, I know someone who works there.
Oh no. Did he work on that commercial? Or
No,
they?
he definitely didn't.
Goodness, I hope not. The Dead Island guys? Oh god, they did Dead Island. Oh no.
They
Oh
also were responsible
no.
for all of Metro, Wasteland. Yeah,
They
they're
worked on-
the publisher, right? They're the publisher primarily. Anyways, hire a
number
trailer
9.
house, especially if you have enough of a budget, like Mighty Number 9. If you have the budget, video game developers always make their own trailers in the indie sphere. I mean, video game developers always make their own trailers, and they're always absolutely awful at it. Spend the money on hiring a trailer studio. There are studios that specialize in trailers, and they are very, very good at their jobs.
They're just like, let's make a joke insulting our core audience. They'll love it. Like I wasn't offended of it because I have like a good sense of like humor. I don't really care about stuff like that, but like just the whole like idea of that is bad to me. Like, why would you do this? Like, you already have a terrible reputation with this game, and you just want to make it worse.
But back to the Mighty Number 9, though, if I may.
Yes,
Like
go
about
right
the game
ahead.
itself. The Mighty Number 9, it's not a good game, right? It's just not.
No,
And
it's not.
I think a lot of its issues can be traced to it can be traced to a lot of different things, but
Yes,
one of the things that I personally look at it and I see is that if Mighty Number 9 was released 2 decades earlier with the graphics of the era, with worse graphics, it would have been great. The biggest problem in Mighty Number 9 is that they didn't adapt towards modern gaming, and they made a game, instead of making a game that feels retro, like Shovel Knight feels retro, The Messenger feels retro, even though you couldn't have done that on retro hardware. They feel retro, but Mighty Number 9 has retro development style. It is made in a way that didn't age well. It doesn't feel like a classic game. It is a classic game, and not in the good ways.
So, like a Pokemon game that has random encounters still. Keeps bad mechanics from... God, we just made a loop back to the beginning of the stream, didn't we?
We're going back to the Pokemon podcast?
Oh, God. Oh, no! I just opened a black hole and we're like, ah!
Oh, no.
Listen,
if you curse me into becoming a Pokatuber, I swear to any heaven you desire.
Watch, I'm gonna make it happen. God. Like, everybody in your chat's like, hey, talk about Pokemon, Jade. How about that Pokemon game?
But I don't think I think it's much worse than Pokemon, and I don't even think that's a hot take. I think that it's the same idea where they're clinging into old-fashioned designs rather than adapting.
Yeah.
But I think it's a lot worse. It would be like if Pokemon kept the HM system in the modern era, right? It would be like if Pokemon kept having 2 frames of animation on their sprites instead of updating their styles. You know, so it's that kind of thing that you're saying, but it's just so much worse.
So the gameplay I thought was standard. Very standard. It wasn't anything remarkable to me. It's like they tried to put it was like a speedrunning strat with the whole dashing through enemies like that, I feel. If you're a speedrunner, I think they'd like that. Like just dashing through everything maybe, but
not the way it was implemented.
No, it was not very engaging to me as a Mega Man like formula.
Yeah.
It did not do anything for the Mega Man formula with.
Yeah.
I really didn't like the visuals. I thought they were awful. Like they like absolutely terrible
Yeah.
visuals. Like
Mhm. Mhm.
it looks so bad, like and so lifeless is what I hated. Like you don't
I
feel
think
any
that's how it's
passion. You don't get any sense of passion from that art at all.
agreed.
It's
Agreed.
like it's like I don't
And,
know.
which is in direct opposition to Mega Man X, right?
Yeah.
Every single frame of animation in Mega Man X, whether the individual game is good or whether you like that individual character, you can't deny how expressive and how intense and how
Yes.
emotive those characters are.
You
There's
have
not a dull character in that franchise.
they had these bland looking 3D models for the
Mhm.
cutscenes. And their mouths don't move when they talk. They just move their hand like up and down in a
You know,
static animation like oh
I actually don't mind not moving the mouth when they talk. I actually think that can be okay
eh,
on something that has a different model design, right?
possibly.
I mean, no character in Elden Ring opens their mouth to talk to you. Not a single one of them. Well, okay, the old crones, I guess. But
Huh.
characters in any Souls game, their mouths are either hidden or static, and that's fine because
Artistic
there's enough character
direction.
design there. Yeah, it's exactly, and that's fine. Or near
Hmm.
both Automata and Replicant, the 2B's mouth doesn't move when she talks,
Hmm. Okay. But the
right?
focus
And
isn't
that's
really on like the way that the cutscenes are focused. It's not. It doesn't draw too much attention to that, does it?
it doesn't do close-ups on the face to show that.
It's more
It
about like
doesn't
the environment and the mood, huh?
and it doesn't have a really really expressive design that is designed that highlights the mouth.
Hmm.
Right,
Yeah.
because like
Yeah.
Main Behind has the design is like not as stylized as Sonic, but it's like the Sonic characters where the face and the expressiveness of the face and the mouth is highlighted. You can't look away from that, right?
Right.
As opposed to Dark Souls or Near,
Yeah.
where there's that's not where the mouth isn't a 10% of the character model.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, but everything about Mighty Number Nine's visuals was very lifeless to me.
I'd
And
agree. Yeah.
along with the very basic gameplay, uh
Mm-hmm.
and the cookie cutter kind of storyline. Story was meh.
Mm-hmm.
I am sorry for anybody that got stuck into pledging to that game. It was funny. When the game was announced during the Great Mega Man drought, I was
And I
excited
will
as heck for it, like everybody
Mhm.
else. But at
And
the
I will
time,
say
sorry,
oh, sorry, sorry,
go
sorry,
ahead.
sorry, 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 sorry. No, 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 I'm
My point real quick then. At the time when it was announced, I was stoked and I was so willing to pledge to it. I would have done like the max pledge probably or whatever I could have afforded. But like I was job hunting at the time, so I was broke. And I
Mm,
was feeling all sad about that, but now I'm like, thank God I didn't spend a penny on this. Someone else who pledged who got a digital copy just gave me theirs, so I didn't have to
mm.
spend money playing it. And I already knew it was gonna be bad, so I just played it for giggles and shits. But yeah, I didn't spend a dime on it, and thank God.
Fair enough.
But yes, continue.
I just wanted to I sorry for interrupting so much there. I just
It's
wanted to
all good.
finish my thought that if you are going into game design, because I know that a lot of my audience is here, and I know that we actually had a couple questions about game development.
Yes.
Play it. If you're going into game design, you need to play games that are not good.
Oh yeah.
You need to play games to understand them and to better understand what you like about other games. You should be playing games that make mistakes and then understanding why those mistakes were made, and not just critiquing it either. You need to be analyzing the path that led to those mistakes as well. If you're going into game development, you should be doing that, as well as to genres that you don't enjoy,
Welcome
as well
to
as to
Glacier
individual
Land.
titles
Enjoy
that
all the rides and make sure not to
are
freeze to
flawed,
death.
right? And because that will help you to analyze that. Yeah, thank you, Sapphire. Ask why a game is not good, rather than just saying it's not good and writing it off.
Definitely. Well, most gamers, if you're into game design, wanting to get into game design, you probably are a gamer. You've probably played your fair share of bad games.
Mhm.
Mostly, but nowadays we look at Metacritic with scores and stuff like that. We have all that now. So that makes us like more
True. It makes us more
choosy.
picky, right?
Yeah, more picky. But you do have a point. Like nowadays, we should still be doing that if you want to be into game development.
All right, Rapido actually got me today. Fine.
Nutassino. Notassino Rapido. Thank you for the
Not
follow.
Assassino Rapido.
Well, welcome.
They yell at me to hydrate, but I don't have redeems on YouTube, so I don't. But because I'm here, I have to follow your redeems. So they're literally doing that to make me have a drink of water.
Interesting. You're not the first guest that I've had that wants to do the redeems with me. Interesting. A couple of my guests did it too. It's fun.
Let's see here. Where are we on viewer audience questions? In your professional opinion, does
that would
Marvel Spider-Man make you feel like Spider-Man? I haven't actually played it. I've heard lots of yes to that. I think that there is a lot to be said about how to establish immersion and like that's really what people are ham-fistedly saying, right? And when they make that statement, because that's a very common question statement to make, but it's also a very meaningless statement to make in and of itself. The question is, does the game mechanics feel immersive? And the answer is a resounding yes. It makes you feel like there is something it makes you feel engaged in the way that you traverse the world, which is not the case in many games. And that alone is a feat.
Interesting.
I haven't played it, so I can't give any more detail than that, but that's my take on what I've heard about it.
Actually, something I wanted to ask about. Are you familiar with the recent release of Sonic Origins?
In passing, I mean, I know that it released. Is that the one where you make your own OC, right?
No, that's Forces. Origins is a recent recollection of the first 4 Sonic games.
Oh, okay.
So Sonic 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles, and then CD. But that's a retro game compilation, which that has a lot to it, doesn't it? When you make a retro game compilation, because you have to like make sure that it works properly. If you're emulating it, or if you're completely rebuilding the game for a new console.
Yeah,
those have that's like its own can of wax. Isn't
it? It really is. Yeah.
It's arguably not a good port of those games. There's a lot of criticism of it. It seems that Sega just rushed it out the door as a quick cash grab for the Sonic movies' popularity. Try and get new fans in.
I can't believe that Sonic Team would do that.
They have a history of doing that, don't they?
Wee bit, huh?
That's a terrible business practice, isn't it? To constantly rush games releases, meet. They actually have that goes all the way back to Sonic 3 and Knuckles, actually. Oh goodness. Yeah.
I mean, I get it. Sometimes money runs out. That happens, but at the same time, that means you need better project directors. That means you need better project management.
Crunch is a big problem in the development industry right now, isn't it?
It is. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think smart gamers are fine with delays, because that means the game will usually be better when it releases. Hopefully. Mostly not the case for the most part.
But I mean, the thing is, it's not like, it's a question of it's not even a question of amount of time. It's a question of how many development dollars you're willing to put into it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if it was just about time, people would be willing to wait. It's about the studio not being willing to pay an extra month worth of salaries of 60 different people. It's about the studio not wanting to spend an extra $200,000 on man hours needed to finish that game, and they're like, and that's why the pressure comes in, right? The pressure doesn't come in just out of a vacuum, because people want the game released sooner. The pressure comes in because the studio doesn't want to pay the costs of finishing development.
Time's not so much an issue because, like, depending on how many people they hire in that period, right? Is what you mean? Are you talking about how, like, time's not so much of an issue if they have enough money to hire enough people? It's more of like if they have enough people in a period of time. Or
right. It's a question of man hours rather than dates.
Yes.
It's a question of how many man hours you're spending on the game. A game company rushing to capitalize on the popularity of a motion picture? Huh, I wouldn't believe that would happen.
Well, there was like a at least I think it was at least like a year and a half between when it was announced versus when it came out.
Mhm.
So in making a retro game compilation, I'm not a, developer myself, but I imagine a retro game compilation wouldn't take that as much funding as like a AAA modern game now. I mean,
I
I
mean,
don't know.
but if they're only willing to spend, like, if they only have spending,
Yeah, they tried to do it on the cheap, basically.
I can't confirm that, but I wouldn't be shocked. Right,
It
is what I'm
it,
saying.
it seems
And
likely.
sorry, once in a while, I see something in chat that just deserves a dramatic reading. You
Oh,
understand?
okay. That's fine. Shitty superhero movie game ever made. Oh goodness. A lot of those.
Mhm.
Superman 64. Oh dear.
And so you're saying that every aspiring game developer should play Detroit Become Human. Not necessarily that particular game, but yes, in general.
Hmm.
Yeah, in general, play something that's strange and unique because there might be pieces of that you can file away. Right? Every game has good ideas. Not every game comes together, but I would argue that every game has some good ideas. And what
Yeah.
few ideas you can find and pick out of a game and say that I could use this in a different system. If I could put this in my portfolio, I could keep this in my pocket to remember that, because that might be useful in something other, or whatever else, on other project you're working on.
Hmm.
That, I mean, yeah.
Well, that's what developers do, isn't it? They take ideas from
Mhm.
other things that worked and implement it into their
Mhm.
ideas, and then they
Yeah,
try to invent something new to go along with it.
we all stand on the shoulders of giants.
Yep. Yep. Game design, everybody. Yay!
Yo, game development. Yo.
Is game development as fun as some people might think it is? Like
Yes,
I
it's
think
stressful though.
yeah, depending on what job you get, right? Or is it all
True.
stressful?
I mean, yeah, it's all stressful, but also it depends on what you get. It depends on the management. It's true of everything, right?
So you have people that do the code, right? The
Mhm.
computer programming side, and then you have the artists make all the
Yep.
designs and visuals.
Mhm.
You have the people that do the storyboards for the story, I imagine, and cutscenes and
Yep.
stuff.
Depending on
Um,
how big a studio is, sometimes that gets folded into the artists. But
you
yeah.
have voice actors, and then you need a director
Mhm.
for those voice actors.
Yep.
Um,
And
there's a lot of different a lot of
you
different
need a
categories.
you need a sound designer, and you need if you don't have your own composer, you need to be licensing music that works, which is
Yep.
fine. There's no harm in licensing music,
Hmm.
but being able to choose the music that works for your game is a skill.
Hmm.
um, and some sort of sound designer to put that together and make that work in tandem.
Hmm.
The designer, like the designer, is simultaneously a glamorous job and one of the least understood jobs. I like to describe the game designer as the person who stares at a small piece of cardboard for 6 hours, saying, "If this costs 3, then it's be too strong. But if it costs 4, it'll be too weak and no one will use it." Like that's the game designer's life right there.
There's a lot of
um,
compartments, very compartmentalized game design.
mhm. And then there's project leaders, which make the whole thing work. And that's really what a lot of crunch problems and scope issues come down to, is the project leaders failing, frankly.
Mm.
Because if you have a good scope and you have a good projection and you meet it, you will still have crunch, but you won't have much, and a lot of it will be self-instantiated. And self-instantiated crunch is the best kind. That's the kind where people stay because they're passionate about the game and they want to work on the project, not because they're being peer pressured by their colleagues to say, you need to work on this, otherwise we won't hit launch. Those are
Mm.
two very, very different types of crunch.
Yes.
One is made by people who love the project and want to do it. And that will have that's good, right? That's good
Yes.
crunch. That's the indie dev studio who is passionate about what they're working on.
You want passion
Then
in
you
your
not
product.
not the yeah, not the Red Dead Redemption crunch where people are being peer pressured by their bosses and by their coworkers to say, "Well, if you're not working as much as us, you must not care enough." That, and you lose, like, that's where the toxicity comes in. But anyways, um a lot of games have a problem of not getting good project leads working on their projects, and that leads to problems of either scope or crunch issues that become worse along the way
Yeah.
because stuff that needs to get done isn't done.
Game development is a whole can of wax.
Every game that is released is a miracle. Never forget this.
Yeah. Maybe we should pay attention to the credits at the end of the game. Maybe.
I every game that I stream, and I will do this for my entire time on YouTube. Every game that I stream, when I get to the end, I sit through the credits. Because that is my way of saying thank you to everybody who worked on that game. I will always sit through the credits, and I'm one of, even before it was a thing with post-credit sequences, I sat through the credits of all the movies I watched because that's my way of showing my respect for all the people who worked on that project. It's so easy to point and say, this is a Michael Bay movie. Michael Bay did this. And it's like, my brother.
Oh,
There are 1,000 people working on this project, and that's just in the animation rooms.
Oh God. Well, since I'm not familiar with development, I can't sympathize per se. I always do appreciate it. Usually like when we hit the credits in a game, if I'm streaming it, I might just kick back and just, unwind for a minute. I think it's a good chance to do that.
Plenty of time to fill air.
Yeah. Think he did it alone? No. But I usually just take it as a moment to kick back and just like unwind after beating a hard boss and just, taking a breath. But,
exactly.
Yeah. That's usually how I do it. If I'm like just playing by myself, I usually just skip the credits. I'm not gonna lie, but
although I do have a really fun voluntary crunch story if you want to hear it. Not my own, but actually I brought it up on my stream just the other day when I was talking with Sprig, actually. We were talking about D&D stuff.
Go right ahead.
First, I'm gonna open this up with a fact that's gonna blow your mind.
Oh.
You're familiar with Dungeons and Dragons? Yes.
I've played, yes.
And you're, I hope, at least passingly familiar with Fallout?
I've watched people play, never got really into it, sadly.
Fair. Dungeons and Dragons, the feat system in Fallout, in Dungeons and Dragons, is based off Fallout.
What?
Not the other way around.
Did feats, were they implemented after Fallout came out?
Mm-hmm.
I know D&D's been through many iterations, so I guess that
came
makes
out
sense.
in D&D in 2002, and they are based on the perk system added in Fallout in 1997.
Was it the first Fallout or one of the sequels?
Fallout 1.
I did play Fallout 1 because somebody asked me to actually on stream. I didn't get into it.
Nice.
Actually, now that we talk about it, I did like one stream and it just wasn't for me.
That's fair. It's a great game, but it is not for everybody.
It's fair. A lot of the things were archaic from back in the time, how things were done.
It's true.
I felt like it was very slow doing anything, and I didn't feel like I was making any progress on stream. And then nobody was actually watching that stream, so I was like, okay, I don't think this game's for me.
I mean, go play New Vegas. New Vegas will give you a very similar experience to Fallout 1 and 2 style of writing, which is really where the game shines. But anyways, one of the developers was decided 72 hours before launch that leveling up didn't feel good enough. You just got points and the numbers went up. It wasn't interesting enough. They decided that the leveling up was not enough of a reward. So they cranked out the entire feat system in a caffeine-fueled fever dream overnight 72 hours before launch and implemented it.
Wow.
And this is before you could assume that their players had internet access. This wasn't something that if you broke, you could have patched.
That is such a monumental system. It was thought up that quickly. That's impressive, actually.
Yep. So that when I say developer inspired crunch, or however, I forget how I phrased it. But yeah, but when I talk about intentional crunch by choice, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Is it's a developer going, wait, I just thought of something that would make this game better. Let me work on this because this is going to make the game so much better. And that was an iconic part of the game. and it's genuinely is one of the most interesting parts of character building in there.
Yeah, that gives
But
you customization and options.
yeah, it gives you things to make your character unique and things to build towards.
That's like
And that
like
was
every RPG
basically
system after that, it uses it. Well, pretty
in
much.
some fashion. I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of them do, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, the feat system in D&D was implemented in 3rd edition. That's correct. Or 3.5 rather, but
Has that been confirmed that they took it from that directly, or just like,
yes, it has.
wow, Wizards of the Coast is like, okay, we're gonna do
Well,
that
they
too.
had the same problem, right? What do you get when you level up in D&D if you're a melee class, especially in the 3rd edition era?
More
What do you
stats.
get? Congratulations. You get a +1 to hit every other level. Otherwise, you might literally level up and get actually nothing but like 7 skill points. So
Yeah.
like yeah, so they were having the very much the same problem, and they found that the solution, and then they were like, "Oh, this works. Let's try to figure out something." And they didn't do it in a fever dream, but
They had
but it's the same.
they had the groundwork laid out for them, basically.
They had the concept thought. They have the concept thought of, I guess, is how I'd phrase it. But
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
exactly. You're right.
Oh, I never knew that. That's an interesting story. Hey,
So
you're
yeah,
full of interesting stories, aren't you, Jade?
I try. I try to be full of interesting stories. Sometimes I succeed.
Heck. You just have like an endless well, like, okay, I'll take this one today.
Yeah, I mean, that's the benefit of me being a bit of an on the older spectrum of VTubers, right? Is that I've lived a full life experience, right? I
Yes.
have, and I try to bring that with me when I'm streaming. It's not just saying I'm going to shoot this guy in the balls. I'm actually trying to talk about the development and design and things that I have knowledge of, and on top of that, I happen to be playing a video game.
Perfect. Perfection. Chef's kiss. Mwah. Well, that did, like, sometimes I'll do that. I'll comment on how a game's design is like bad. Like I was playing Kirby the other day, and I thought some of the enemy placement was kind of bullshit. like this guy will come out of nowhere and just hit you. Like, what the fuck? Stupid. And then like every time you get hit, you lose the ability you're carrying. It was really frustrating. So I like sometimes I comment on stuff like that, like ways I would have done things differently. But that's just like something like a playtester would say, you know? I think a lot of streamers do like playtesting, don't they? Or like promotion at least for indie developed games and stuff like that.
Yeah, sometimes indie gamer will come to a streamer and be like, "Hey, can you play this on stream? We'd like to see what the feedback is." Right? Yeah.
That would be like
And
something a lot of streamers hope for, isn't it? To get contacted like that. Maybe one
absolutely.
day. Maybe one day. Although I had someone reach out to me, like, ask me to play some mobile game or stream some mobile game, and they were gonna give me like premium currency in that game as payment. I was like, no, thank you. That sounds like a scam. No thanks.
That's actually amazing. That's so bold faced. Oh my gosh.
Like I didn't even respond.
Do you have an ad sponsor right now? Do you have an ad read you want me to do? I can do an ad read for you.
A what?
An ad read if you have a sponsor right now?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay, fair
I
enough.
mean, I guess I could do one with HelloFresh through Streamlabs, but I don't think I'm like whatchamacallit. Well known enough to do something like that. I don't think I get like any kind of like purchases or whatever. You have to get a certain amount of people to purchase the product for this. Actually, I've never actually done a sponsorship, so I'm not like totally well aware how that works. You have to get like a certain amount of people to buy through your sponsorship, through your advertisements, right? Like 10 people or so or something to get a certain reward.
For the worst ones, yeah, but for the better ones, ideally you just get paid for doing the read regardless. That's ideal, but you gotta be pushing 5K plus to be getting that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no.
For a lot of it, it's you get paid per person who signs up with the service.
Yeah.
Or for every X number of people who play the game past a certain point. If it's a mobile game, that's usually how they go.
Yeah.
I've only gotten a couple of sponsors, but they haven't gone terribly well for me so far.
Yeah, I'm not big enough, so I don't really bother. I thought about it, but I think I'd just be like shooting myself in the foot if I did. I don't know.
Mhm.
Maybe if I
And
get if I grow
won't
in the future, maybe. But
yeah, yeah. And I'm not going to do a sponsorship for a product that I don't believe in yet. Maybe, I mean, unless they offer me enough money. But like, I have enough game developers in my audience, like game designers from the various game jam stuff that I've done, that I know full well that if I try to do an ad read for Raid Shadow Legends, that they're gonna lose respect for me, right? And like, I will legitimately lose audience if I promote a game that is bad. Like, that's actually a thing that will happen to me.
I don't. When it comes to like small content creators or developers or stuff like that, I don't hate on them for that particularly. Personally, just me. I'm like, you're just
Mhm.
trying to keep the lights on. Like, you're not. I mean,
Yeah.
how
But it'd
bad?
be in my case, because I have a very educated audience, I feel like it would be more transparent, right?
Yeah, probably. Uh, I have no idea. Do what you want to do. I won't judge you for that.
Follow your heart.
Raid Shadows Legends, they're notorious for just like for microtransactions, right? Money
Mhm.
gouging people.
It's a very money gougey game. It's not a good game.
Not even a
It's not
fun
terrible.
game.
It's not the worst game on the market, honestly. The thing that they're known for is the fact that they have a ridiculously large advertising budget. But I mean, clearly it's working on it, and it's working for them. I mean,
I guess so. I wouldn't judge a small content creator for doing that. I mean, they really just want to like I can't really judge them personally. It's up to the
right.
that's up to everybody else.
Hmm.
He's a very intense person. Do you also happen to shoot a guy in the balls during your comment?
Absolutely. I am very much a meme lord. I master ball a knocked owl.
Oh God. Emailer is a website that kind of serves as a go-between for that, is it? For
I need to sign up for
sponsorships?
that. I'm meaning to.
Heck. Who the fuck said I was educated since Tuesday? Oh goodness.
Tuzzy's been streaming longer than I have. Don't listen to that.
Oh. Oh, I don't think I'm big enough to do a real sponsorship, but maybe in the future I'll consider it. But yeah. Any other questions you'd like to ask, audience? Otherwise, I think it's about time to wrap it up. So any last questions? Emailer goes between for game developers and content creators. Oh, really? Oh, so for like indie developers to connect them to streamers?
Yep, and vice versa. I'm roundly familiar with them, but I haven't worked with them directly. I've been meaning to, honestly. I really just should.
I'd be down to promote some indie games that are of genres of my interests. Like, I love platformers and Metroidvanias. I'd give them a shot. I get codes from them from time to time and try out indie games and help get eyes on. Oh, nice.
Nice. Yo. Yeah, I should be doing that.
There's a lot of indie horror games coming out now too. Heck, I'd be down to try those. Heck, maybe I'll check them out. We'll see. Anyway, any last questions? So we can before we wrap this up? Having longer fingernails, yes or no? Probably not the best for keyboards. I mean, I just cut mine off. That is a very good question. Oh God. First star. All right, here we go. No feet, Dex. No feet. Not this stream. Nia or meow? I like Nia. Call me a weeb. I like Nia. Toes?
I like Nia.
No toes.
Like beans, though.
No beans. Yes. Souls, perhaps. No.
There's a very different energy between somebody asking for feet and somebody asking for beans.
Is somebody throwing up here? I am mentally. Not everything on Keymailer has been a gem, but I've gotten to play some super fun games because of it. Okay. I imagine there's some, like, poorly made games that people probably throw on there about asset flips or some shit like that, probably.
Probably.
Ugh. That RR was kind of bad. It was meant to be. So it did the job.
That's the point.
That's why it's 666 points. I personally love coffee beans, so I enjoy bean soup in the morning. Oh, wow. Beans, cute feet, white. No. Who's your favorite Love Live member? I don't know Love Live. You, Jade?
Not really.
Nope.
No, I didn't really get into that. Like, I'm familiar with the show, but I never really.
Oh. Oh, maybe I'll check it out sometime. Maybe we can watch it together, Index. How about that?
There we go. Yeah,
There we
there's
go.
the plan.
Movie night. The bird guy.
Movie night.
Love his fish. Yes, I love fish. Fish sandwiches, that's all it takes to win me over, honestly. I'm a very cheap date. No. No. Okay, Index. Whatever. Alright. I think that about wraps it up, actually.
This was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Thank you. I'm happy to meet your community, Jade. Thank you for making the time to come out. I appreciate you reaching out to me. And yeah, you've got lots of stories. You've enlightened me in a lot of things. I'm really glad we had this talk.
This has just been a random stream where I've just been saying words. I don't even know what happened.
This isn't that special. It's just verbal diarrhea.
Pretty much. That's how I see it.
Interview redeemed shall soon be mine. I reached 9K. Congratulations, Burbs. You'll probably be my next guest. Heck.
Yo.
You could be on my show too for 10K points. Aimlessly promoting myself again. I'm glad I rallied tonight. This was great. Yeah. Well, we have possible Pokemon stream coming up. That'll be great. Lovely. God. Game Freak Y. But yeah, thank you everybody for coming out. Thank you, Jade's community for coming to say hi. I appreciate it. And yeah, Jade, hopefully sometime we can do some kind of game collab or something sometime.
I look forward to it.
Excellent.